What's up, MFs? Welcome back to the Snake Pit. This is episode 117. I did this one with Mike G. That's the real Mike G. We had a good time. It's always fun to talk to people who are also in the podcasting game and radio, which he is. So you guys go check that out. And we went off a little bit here and there, and it was fun. It was a great time, and I really appreciate it. Shout out to Jen for helping us out again. If you haven't already, please go and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Get me to 200, please. Check out my website, thesnakepit.rattlesnakeroy.com. Check out the merch, all of that. I will soon be launching a Apple Podcast exclusive premium subscription podcast, so be on the lookout for that. That'll be fun. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy, and thank you. We'll see you next time. But here we are, man.
Hell yeah, how y'all doing?
Great, man. Mike G, right?
Yes, sir.
What's going on, man?
What do you go by? Do you go by just Roy?
Just Roy.
Just Roy?
Yeah.
Hey, Roy, hey, it's an honor and a pleasure to be on your show, bro.
Hey, man, thanks for showing up. Appreciate you.
Hey, thank you for reaching out, man.
Yeah.
I'm always humbled by doing this type of stuff. When people reach out to me, because I mean, a lot of people reach out to me for a lot of things, man, and I do my best to get back to everybody. Whenever I get to tell you the truth, I have my notifications on my messenger off and shit. Cause
okay.
Otherwise, that should just be going off all fucking day. Same thing on Instagram and Twitter. And, I read them as, throughout the days I get a chance and shit. Same thing with emails. So, yeah, man, I mean, it's, not everybody's busy. Everybody's busy.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. I'm not like, look at me.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But
No,
yeah,
I get it.
Everybody's busy, man, so you know how it is. So, for the most part, I have my shit turned off, So whenever I do get messages like that, I try to reach back, man.
I really appreciate you taking time out of. You said you just got back from out of town and
Yeah, man, shit. My
scrambled to
days
get over here and all
My
that.
days consist of, because despite what a lot of people think, man, I still work my 9 to 5 and shit. Not 9 to 5, but I mean, I leave
Like a normal job.
Yeah, I leave my house about 3:30, or I wake up about 3:30 in the morning, leave about 4:15.
Gosh.
Shit, meet up with my homeboys in Brownfield. We drive to New Mexico, go do our shit for 12 hours, and then come back. I get home about 7:30, 8 o'clock. Like last night, I had to get home to about 8:40 because we actually had to go to Seminole, drop some shit off, then go to La Mesa, pick some shit up, and then go back to Brownfield. I pick up my car over there in Brownfield and shit, and I come back home, man. I actually just switched jobs with my homeboys. Now I'm working with my homeboy Triple O. The same way you got your homie right here helping you with the stuff. I got my homeboy Triple O, Rick Molina Jr. on Facebook. Him and his wife Janet Molina, they compose together Molina Entertainment, and they help me produce Real Talks with Mike Jizzle, and Real Talks really because I do Mike's Global Mix by myself, and I'm currently in season 5 of Mike's Global Mix.
So what is that?
Mike's Real Talks with Mike G, me,
Yeah.
and Mike's Global Mix. They're 2 internet radio shows that I host on Slaughterhouse Radio, and it's based out of Houston, Texas.
Okay, so Slaughterhouse Radio?
Yes, sir.
And is it like so it's like actual radio? You have like a certain time where you...
Yeah, my shows, they air. Mike's Global Mix airs weekdays every day at 6 a.m. and then again at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time.
So those are like pre-recorded though?
Yeah, pre-recorded.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, man, people send me music, shit from all over, not only the country, but all over the world, really. And shit, I air them, man. People hit me up for promotion and shit like that. And I do interviews as well. I've had some pretty big names on my show, as well as, a lot of independent artists from around the way. And shit, I love it, man. If you would have told me about 10 years ago I'd be doing this type of shit, I wouldn't have believed you.
When did you start doing it? 10 years ago?
Nah, man, I've been doing it, shit, probably about maybe 4 years now.
Okay.
Going about 4 years.
And when you do like interviews and stuff, is it in person or is it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I love it. If I get, if the opportunity presents itself to, meet up with the people, the cards play themselves, we're like how you and I both live in Lubbock,
Yeah.
That was an opportune moment right there. And even though people live in Lubbock as well, sometimes our schedules just don't fucking meet up. You know what I mean?
It's tough.
There's been multiple times where I set up appointments for interviews, with people, and either some shit happens on their end or some shit happens on my end, or.
Yeah, I try to be understanding with that.
Yeah, it happens.
And I give him the benefit of the doubt like one time.
Yeah,
one chance.
once or twice, man. Yeah, but it happens and shit.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
happens.
so I've been trying to get some people on the show too. Sometimes some shit happens on their end or on my end. So I mean, fuck, we're gonna get them knocked out eventually.
Yeah, before we get into all that, you've already just thrown out like all this, and you on top of all this, you have a family, right?
Yeah.
You have a wife and kid.
Yes, sir. We just have a little son.
Yeah.
Actually, he's gonna turn a year.
If you would, you can scoot up on the mic, please.
Yeah, I be telling people the same shit. Yeah, man. My son Kyron Michael Garza. He was born May 4th. Next month will be a year. You know,
A year.
So we're actually planning a big old birthday party for him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, my wife. You know, we actually had our anniversary April 3rd.
Okay.
My birthday was April 4th, along with my son turning 11 months. So yeah, I was pretty busy this weekend.
Yeah.
And then, this past weekend we had that tattoo expo.
Yeah, we got to get into that too, man.
That was dope
Let's
as
talk.
hell, man.
Let's talk about that. How was that? So did you like perform?
Yeah, I hosted it all weekend, man. I was
okay.
the host. I was the MC, and I performed Friday and Sunday. I could have performed Saturday, but I don't want to be greedy and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Sunday, I performed Sunday, man. My wife and son were actually out there Sunday to catch my performance. That was my son's first time catching me perform on stage and shit like that.
Nice.
You know? He was all excited and shit. It was pretty dope.
You know, Tryptamine 08?
Yeah,
DOG?
man, that's the homeboy. It's the
I saw
homeboy.
he put his DOG. He put his son watching him.
Oh, did you see
perform.
it? Yeah, I was actually the one that recorded that.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was the one that
saw
recorded that, man, because
That's pretty cool.
That song you sent me that he was performing, it was called "Money on My Mind." It's currently an unreleased track, which you got to release, bro. That shit is dope, man.
He'll be listening.
That's a dope ass track, homie. Money on my mind. I got money on my mind. Yeah, man. Anyway, and his son like fucking knew the words already and shit, cause
That's crazy.
he already knew when he was finna start stacking it on the second verse, and his son was all that. Oh, and shit, you know, and I just had to record it, man, because, you know, that shit melted my heart there, you know.
That's pretty cool, man.
The sense of pride that his son had, you know, looking up at his son, you know, looking up at his dad on stage and shit, you know, that's a beautiful thing. Do you got kids yourself?
No
man,
kids.
It's a beautiful thing. Once you have it, bro, you know, right now you don't have it, don't rush it in, you know what I mean? It all happen in good time.
Nah, yeah, that's always, like, I've always, literally, like, my mindset has changed recently for, like, reasons I wouldn't get into, because it would take a long time, but I'm like, damn, I do want kids, but not till I'm, like, in 30s.
Yeah, man.
Like, 10 more years, because I got to build this up first before I,
you know, and especially if you're able to actually plan it like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Shit, man, all the power to you, man.
Yeah,
do it, because not a lot of people get that opportunity, man.
Yeah, luckily, like, I don't know if luck is the word, but I'm like the universe or God or whoever's just been throwing examples, like, you know, just be careful. Just you know, worry about yourself right now.
Pay attention to the signs, bro.
Yeah,
You know, the universe is real, man. I mean, you know, of course it's real, but, you know, signs are real and shit.
You just gotta keep your eyes open.
Yeah.
Did you get a tattoo or anything?
Nah, man, I wanted to get my son's name right here, but man, them motherfuckers were busy, bro. I mean,
Wait, you were out there, weren't you?
I was there Saturday.
I seen you. I believe I seen you because you looked familiar when I came in. I said, man, I think I seen you.
With Xavier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was out there all weekend, man, and then man, there were so many dope ass artists, huh?
Yes.
Man, luckily I was able to catch a lot of artists get down as everybody's sketching the shit out on the people's body. I'd be going around making my rounds, talking to people, you know, introducing people and shit like that. Come back around, they had like so much already, the outline done. Come back again and fucking coloring. I'm like, God damn, dude, these motherfuckers are incredible.
Yeah, I seen just pictures and shit.
And the guys doing the freehand ones, man. Like, shout out to goddamn Jay Monadre. God damn it, man. Carlos G of Body Art. He was dope as hell.
Yeah.
Juan G of Body Art was hell. Big J, man. There was just so many people.
Shout out to Xavier.
Shout out Xavier, man. There were so many dope people. But I wanted to get my son's name right here on my arms, dude. But it was just everybody was booked, man. You know, like, oh, you have to come back, try it again later on today. You know, I mean, they was busy, man. They made some money. I know they made some money over there, dude. Shout out Orlando Romo, man. He threw together a hell of an event. You know, him and Jason Perez, and they did the sound. Alex Barrero, man. They, you know, shout out to the homeboy Loetz. I was kicking in with Loetz Sunday. He came out and performed as well. The homeboy Mr. I came and performed. DOG, of course, as well. The homeboy Corey the Demon. They came out. Him and West Texas Demons. Him and his boys came out.
I think like Jack Boy Luck. I think he was.
Jack Boy Luck, SK the Goon.
Yeah, Courtney remembers was supposed to. I don't know if they did.
Yeah, this big homeboy, man. I can't remember Corey's big homeboy. This tall ass dude.
Courtney.
It was that name.
Yeah,
Courtney?
he's a tall motherfucker.
Man, that was the first thing I told him when I met him. And she's like, man, you tall motherfucker. Then he started laughing and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a good piece, man. You know, that was the first time I met him. Corey actually shot some scenes for a video for me that day and shit, man. So we, you know, official video for Still I Seek, which is out now on all platforms. coming soon. Shot by Coy the Demon. And, you know, that boy's been getting busy, man. And he's been staying. I met him last year. I believe it was last year. I interviewed him on season 4 of my show. And he's all like, man, Mike, shit, in another year, man, I want to come on your show again. I'm gonna be putting in work, bro. I'm gonna be talking about all the shit that I did in 1 year from now. And we got it, you know, we made it happen, man. I'm actually gonna be interviewing him Saturday. Him and the boys, man. I'm gonna be sitting down with them Saturday in person. You know what I mean?
So let's get into that. We'll get into that before I ask you something else. And my mind's all over the place right now because I got a lot of things that I want to ask you.
Yeah, man. Shit, I'm in no hurry, bro. I'm in no hurry. Unless you are.
No. Yeah, I don't got to work tomorrow, so I'm good.
Shit, I get up like a machine anyway, man. The most I get is about 4 hours of sleep daily,
I respect the fucking that because I need 8.
yeah, I would love that, man. I ain't had 8 hours sleep in a long ass time and shit.
Man, you need your sleep, man.
Yeah,
Come on, dog.
Yeah, you do. Especially when you're driving like that, man. But, you know, I've been doing it for years already, man. I'm kind of set used to it. Even when I don't work, I'm up by like 4 or 5 and shit. You know, it's crazy. My wife be like, why the fuck you up so early?
So you emceed and hosted.
Yes, sir.
The Tattoo Expo. I'm only asking because I'm supposed to do that for my friend's birthday party.
Okay.
And I'm nervous as hell. So I'm like, so what does that mean? What does that entail? Well, give me some advice because I'm like, shout out to Riley.
Yeah, and I tell you, man, because the homeboy Orlando Romo, he was asking me, you know, the one that's organized this whole event. You know, it was a big event too. He put a lot of money behind it, getting everybody coming in, coordinating all kinds of shit. And he was telling me, he's like, have you ever done this shit before? You know, because he was aware of the radio and stuff like that, but you know, he wasn't aware of the extent that I got my hands into this type of shit. Even before I started doing radio, I was always public speaking and talking to people in crowds. Okay. You know, I'm used to this type of shit. And I'm like, yeah, man, I got it, bro. He's like, if you need any tips or points, man, hit me up. All you're gonna be doing, bro, is just you're gonna be the heartbeat and the life and the vibe of the party. You know what I mean? You're gonna be walking around, especially if you got a mic. You know what I mean? A mic is a powerful thing, bro. In events like that, you know what I mean? You can catch people's attention. You can be annoying as fuck. You can be sad. You can be inspiring. You can be aggressive and get motherfuckers angry, ready to chop your ass up and shit. You know?
Yeah.
It can go a lot of different ways, man. But it all presents. I guess it all depends on the environment. You know you said it's a birthday party for your homie?
Yeah. So I think it's a birthday party, but he's hosting a party for a bunch of local rappers at the Culture Lounge.
Oh, okay, homeboy, you talking about Ezra?
Yeah. Well, it's at his place, but it's this guy's named Riley, and like a bunch of people like Vari and you know who Alpha Savage is?
Yeah, man. Yeah,
so these guys are performing, the homies, and he's like, I want you to MC it. And I'm like, I just said yeah, because I'm gonna say yes to a lot of opportunities that I get.
Shit, take them up. This is what you're gonna be doing, bro. Before somebody comes in, like say, Roy, you finna hit the stage next. All right, everybody, let me get y'all's attention right quick, man. You know, y'all quite quick. Follow me on, you know, and you shout out your social media, you know, stuff like that. We got the homeboy Roy coming up right here, man. He's a dope ass artist out of Lubbock, Texas. You know, shout out if you get his social media handles and stuff like that.
Okay.
He's got a new project out right now on all platforms, you know, which is called, you know, etc. etc. Be sure to hit him up, man. Y'all follow him, and then you're gonna be going around talking to people and shit. You know, not when people are performing because you'll fuck up the performance. You know what I mean? But you know, in between sets, you know, you'll be talking and shit. You know, be shouting out the beer specials that they got them, whatever food they got. You know what I mean? It's gonna be BYOB. I assume.
So, yeah. It's weird. Like I've kind of been practicing that, going to these shows. I'm like talking to people. I'm like getting names. Like, okay, let's
just a conversation.
Networking.
Yeah, just a conversation. Because when I talk to a lot of people, bro, that have, you know, they're not too, you know, they haven't done a lot of media shit, like, you know, sat down for interviews like this, you know, and believe it or not, there's a lot of people out there. I know a lot of cats that I had on my show that they've wrecked hella shows. You know what I mean? They racked up thousands of streams on their SoundCloud or Spotify or Apple, whatever it is they got the music on, or across all platforms even. You know, a lot of them. I feel that's what separates a lot of artists. You know, by the way, if you got music out, you know, people can Google you, find you, buy your shit. Whereas the people are just standing on the corner rapping, and, you know, at parties and shit. But anyway, back to what I was saying. You know, a lot of people have been nervous and shit when I get motherfuckers to do drop every time I do a show, an interview. Like, man, let me get you to say a drop for. You listen, this is Roy. You're listening to Real Talks on Slaughterhouse Radio. You know, simple shit like that. Man, motherfuckers do it like 9, 10, 11 times and shit, bro. And I'm patient. I don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? This ain't, you know, I ain't got no label behind me. I ain't on corporate time and shit. This is all my time. You know, I'm the one behind this shit. You know, I'm the one driving this. And No, I'm gonna work with them. Fuck it, you know. I've been there. You know what I mean? I've been nervous before. I know what it's like.
Yeah,
Especially when I tell them it's gonna be heard by thousands of people. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers, yeah. Oh shit, nah, for real. Oh man, what do I say? Like, bro, it's just conversation.
Yeah.
Do you see anything in front of me? I don't see no script in front of you.
Nah.
I don't see no script in front of her. She ain't got no nose unless you got something hiding over there. You know, I don't have nothing hiding. You know, we're all doing this shit. This is what I
Nah,
call
like a lot of
freestyling.
people always come on here and they're like, you got to, or before they'll be like, are you going to ask me anything in particular? I'm like, I am, but I'm not going to tell you because
Yeah.
I don't want you to know.
Yeah.
I want you to be fresh.
I want it to be, oh, you want it to be fluent and,
Yeah.
and fluent.
And sometimes I don't even ask. To be honest, I forget. I'll just keep
Yeah.
going somewhere else. So you, like, when you hosted this event, did you do like homework, if you will?
Nah,
No?
I mean, because I didn't know all the artists were coming and shit.
okay.
I knew some of them from what Orlando was posting and shit like that, you know what I mean? But I had a bunch of shit going on too as well, you know what I mean? So I was promoting a lot of other shit as well. And this was actually my first show that I've done this year since COVID hit, man. Because
Okay.
last year I had a bunch of shit booked. You know, I had at least 2-3 shows booked every fucking month, you know what I mean? I ended up doing one, I think. But other than that, you know, because my wife was pregnant, you know, and
Oh, yeah.
with people dying, you know, I don't know how COVID affected you guys, man, or y'all.
I've been lucky. I've been lucky.
Thank God, brother. You know, thank God, man,
Yeah.
for real. Yeah, that's a blessing, man. Because you know, unfortunately, nobody in my immediate family passed away. You know, but lots of people, close people to my immediate family, passed away.
Yeah,
man.
same. That's how it was for me, too.
Uncles, you know, friends that were the family they've been family for years and shit. I mean, forever. And you know, everybody caught it. You know, like my sister caught it, my sisters, my brother and his family caught it. My mama had it, I think, at one point. My mother-in-law had it. All my sister-in-laws had it. I mean, fuck, everybody like around us got it, bro. You know what I mean? And I'm like, me and my wife and my baby, or my wife, she was pregnant at the time. And my son, you know, I got my youngest son that lives still with us. He's 17. He's a junior in Friendship High School right now. And we took it out of high school. You know, I remember having this conversation at a dinner table before COVID, you know, became what it became and shit, you know what I mean? I'm like, before it was ever even in Lubbock, I said, well, they done found COVID in Brownfield, you know, it's up to 30 people. I'm telling you right now, Gio, because my son's name is Giovanni. I said, I'll tell you right now, son, if this shit comes to Lubbock, I'm pulling your ass out of school. I don't give a fuck what you say. You get mad.
Was he a senior?
No, he's a junior this year. He'll be a senior next year.
Oh, okay.
But, you know, he was cool. Like, man, shit, no, it's fine, cool.
Yeah.
You know, because imagine that shit. They fucking pulled us out of school all fucking year. I would have loved that shit back in the day.
Yeah, for real.
And they had the option to do it online and shit. I mean, back then, I graduated in 98. I'm an old motherfucker and shit. So, you know, but we didn't have online shit back in the day. But, you know, imagine that, you know. That would have been fucking awesome for us. But all the shit that came with that, you know what I mean? You fucking lost out on prom.
Yeah, it all seems fine and dandy, and then you think about all
Think
that.
about it, man. Because he was an athlete, man. You know, I played everything in school, you know. I went to every prom and shit and all that. So that part would have been detrimental to me and shit. Which is, I'm sure it's detrimental to all the people that missed out on it. You know what I mean? Fuck, prom's a fucking experience, bro. That's like coming of age shit. Dances and shit, you know, football games, basketball
fun.
games. Fuck, you know, that's the only thing I miss about school, bro.
Yeah.
You know, the sports and shit, you know, the dances. Because I was involved with a bunch of shit, man. Same way I am now. I've always had my hands in all types of shit.
I'm starting to get like that. I need to, like, because you mentioned earlier, like, it keeps you busy.
Fuck yeah,
when I'm
bro.
not busy, I'm in trouble.
Idle
I'm
hands are
one
the devil's.
way
Idle hands are the
that
devil's
has never
tools,
been
bro.
more true, dude.
Idle hands are the devil's tools, bro. You know, and back in my day, because I've always been dabbling in music, bro. Like, if you know me, you know that I'm musically inclined. I've always have been. I made beats before I was rapping and shit. I've always, you know, made beats, beatboxing, be all, you know, motherfuckers be rapping and shit like that. And I come from a family of musicians and shit, man. I got lots of deals that are sing, you know, in bands and shit. You know, all my cousins rap, you know, fucking sing, play the guitar, the
Nice.
drums and shit, you know, something. Everybody, like growing up, since I was a little kid, and I don't say it just to say it, but I've always been around talented people, bro. You know what I mean? Being around talented people, like, you know, it just seemed normal to me and shit, you know what I mean? It was, I don't know. Like, cause you see motherfuckers that are, you know, see somebody getting down like Justin Bieber. Like, I've known a lot of Justin Biebers like my entire fucking life, bro. You
Yeah.
see a motherfucker come in and pick up whatever instrument's laying and get down on it and be singing it to you, looking right at you at the same time. Like, that shit's fucking powerful. I mean, you can fucking move rooms with that shit. And I've always known people like that, you know what I mean? I got cousins that are, you know, God rest their souls, are gone now, or God rest their souls, they're gone because of drugs and shit. I mean, gone off the drugs, I mean, you know what I mean? Still here, but not here.
They're
you know
not
what
the
I mean?
same.
Yeah, you know, but talented with, you know, they got more talent in one finger than I got in my body and shit, you know what I mean? Shit like that. And I've always looked back at, you know, motherfuckers just squandered that shit, you know what I
This
mean?
kind of sucks, huh? I'm watching that unfold now. As a young man, I'm like, ah.
And if you got influence, any whatsoever kind of influence into them individuals' lives, bro.
I'm trying to say it here.
Say something to
you know, like,
yeah.
hey, man, you only live once. You only get this opportunity once. I think, you know.
Yeah, you only get one body too.
Yeah,
one set of teeth unless you got money.
There you go, man. Money changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. I was gonna ask you because you're you know, it's like your voice is an instrument. It's a powerful tool. Do you ever feel like you can master conversation with somebody and that might not necessarily be a good thing? Like you can it can get a little like you can make people. It can be manipulative a little bit.
Yeah,
you ever
man.
feel like that?
I know because
you kind of be careful with it, right?
I know a lot of individuals that are like that, bro. You know what I mean?
They're just good at talking, right?
And there's been times, you know, because coming up as a, you know, hustling and shit, you know, if you're from the streets and shit, you know, at one point you was a hustler, you know what I mean? Whether you was selling drugs or you was hustling, stolen goods and shit, or hustling, you know, the hookup at a job, or, you know, hustling, you know what I mean? That's kind of a form of what that is, bro, you know what I mean? And not to say, you know, that any hustler's not doing that, you know, would be a fucking lie. Because if you hustling, if you got the best product in town, you're going to be out there marketing that shit. You may not be on fucking social media putting ads and all that shit or in the paper, but you're going to be spreading, you know, that shit by word of mouth, and you can be using your mouthpiece and your voice, and especially if you got influence, if you're halfway popular, you know what I mean? You can take that shit and run with it. I've seen it unfold. I've seen motherfuckers that guy, they was always in the corner at the dances and shit in school, you know, all quiet, talking, you know, didn't want to dance to nobody. Chicks didn't want to talk to him and shit, didn't have no friends. I seen that motherfucker grow up to be the motherfucking baller and shit, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Had all the chicks, you know, had all the money, all the cars, going everywhere, spend all the money at every club, at every popping scene. And, you know, they got there by their fucking mouth, you know what I mean? By using that mouthpiece.
Fucking
and
voice,
shit, you know
dude.
I mean? And that can be manipulative, you know, if you're doing interviews and, like, say, journalists, you know, motherfuckers that like actual journalists that do this shit for, like, New York Times.
Oh, yeah.
The Globe.
I didn't think about that one.
Them motherfuckers are, man, have you ever met somebody like that? Them motherfuckers are, man, they're manipulative as fuck, bro. They pump you for information without you even realizing it.
I was just thinking, like, so I was thinking, like, one time I got in this Uber and I went like full podcast mode. I just started talking to this guy and and my friend, he was like, do you realize what you just did? I'm like, no, I was just talking. He's like, you controlled him. You were telling him all, and I was like, and then I was at the bar and I was like, you know, a dude could, if he really is good at talking, he can pull any girl he wants and make him do anything. And that's a girl too. A girl could do that to a guy too. I was like, man, if you are good at talking, you can make people do whatever the hell you want.
I mean, you ever seen that dude that was like, you know, the chunky guy, you know what I mean? Or the unpopular guy sitting there with that beautiful chick in high school that everybody was always trying to mac on. Or that chick at work that everyone's trying to get at every weekend, and she ain't getting nobody the time of day, but then you see her posted with this dude all hooked up. That mouthpiece got him there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, if he's got a little bit of money or a little bit of influence in town and shit, or in the hood or in the game, that's even, you know, better. But, you know, that mouthpiece got to get him there before she finds out that he's got this influence or this money, or that he knows this person. Or that
for sure.
He's got to get the by mouth, you know what I mean? So you got to have talk, man. So, and what I say, because my mom raised me, you know, closed mouths don't get fed. I'm sure everybody's heard that. You know, God raised us God blessed us with the voice and the tongue and the mouth to use that shit.
Use that shit, I'm saying. No, fuck it, why not?
I mean, in this digital day and age, you know, we got a lot of motherfuckers using that voice to get paid, making millions, you know, racking up hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube or TikTok, whatever the fuck it is they're using, whatever platform they're utilizing, and making money with that voice and shit, you know. If you can tap into that shit, do it, man, because I'm trying to do that, you know what I mean? I just barely launched my show on Spotify and Anchor and all that shit.
Before we get on that one, did you come up, like you said earlier, did you come up as a hustler and you came up in that?
Yeah,
and
man.
Was that you as a younger man?
We all had to, man. I'm not going to be like, oh, yeah, I was the motherfucking dude running the town. I mean, but anybody knows me, you know, I've always been plugged in with some weed or connect, you know, coke, you know. I've had cartel connection shit, man. I got a homeboy who was killed by that set and shit, you know what I mean? And
shit.
That's, you know, that's some fucked up shit. You know, I had just seen him a couple of days before that happened, you know what I mean? I hadn't seen him in years. Homie from school, you know, fellow football player, man, athlete, you know, all that shit, a popular guy. But, you know, he just grew up in that life and shit, you know, and it happens, you know, and coming up in towns like Brownfield, because I grew up in Brownfield. I'm born and raised in Lubbock, but I grew up in Brownfield too, you know, so I spent my entire childhood and adolescence coming back and forth and shit, so
It's like me and Post.
Yeah, you know,
I
and
was back and forth between you and
Post is
Post.
a town like Brownsville, you know what
Yeah.
I mean? They're small and everybody knows everybody, and they, you know, there's not really a lot of many job opportunities in towns like that. You know, Lubbock's different, but in towns like Brownsville and Post, there's not many job opportunities. So if you know anybody that's connected in something, you know, eventually you're gonna go that way or veer that way to make money and shit. You know what I mean? You know, I always wanted helping my mom trying to pay the bills and shit like that, and. You know, the first time my mom ever seen me smoking weed or see me high, she slapped the fuck out of me. I ain't gonna lie, like, I remember that shit to this goddamn day. But, you know, it wasn't gonna go nowhere, you know, but, you know, I got in trouble for weed. I went to jail a couple times and shit like that, you know, possessing of marijuana, but as far as any real, like, serious felonies and shit like that, I was always able to dodge that shit. And that comes from just, you know, you gotta be street smart and shit, because you're in that game, you know, you gotta be around the right motherfucker.
No, yeah, I was asking you that because, like, did you apply that to your shows that you do? Like, just
Yeah, you gotta build a hustle, man. Because I don't have no manager, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I've been able to book some high profile shows on my show, you know what I mean. The biggest one by far to date is Jay Prince, you know what I mean. I was able to book Jay Prince.
no way.
Yeah, and he actually invited me out to Houston to one of his compounds and shit. You know, we sat there like this, you know, face to face, not even a table. We were just across from each other in one of his studios and shit, with all his bodyguards.
He's kind of like the boss of all that, right? He's kind of the people know about him now, but
Yeah, that motherfucker owns islands and shit, bro.
Yeah, he's like
he
that.
rap a lot. He was responsible for a lot of the jams that I grew up jamming out to, like, you know, UGK and, you know,
Yeah,
Scarface and
he's-
shit like that. You know what I mean? So, you know, to actually sit down face to face with him and get to hug him,
what was that like?
man, it was dope, bro. It was an experience, you know. Cause I took my wife and my son with me, you know, so they got to meet him too and all that.
Well, so like somebody like that, he is obviously like a super big influence.
Yeah.
What kind of presence does a guy like that command?
Man, to tell you the truth, bro, he was.
Was he just like talking to a normal person?
He was cool as fuck, you know, because by this point now, you know, I don't think I'm really starstruck anymore, man, you know, because I'm like, if people ask me that, I guess the question people ask me, like, man, you know, what was talking to him like, you know, like when I talked to Lil Flip or Mike Jones and shit, you know, they were like, you know, what was that like? And I was like, man, it's just, you know.
Well, I mean, like, because like obviously Lil Flip and Mike Jones, they're successful people, but Jay Prince is like a different level.
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
like he's the boss of bosses.
Shit. Man, he was cool.
So I mean, you don't get there just being Joe. You know, you probably have to just. There's something different about this kind of people.
And his story is, man, his story is intriguing all in itself, bro. You know what I mean? I actually pitched the idea of, because he was talking about, I asked him if he ever, because I actually, when I interviewed him, it was during the time he was doing his book run for his promotions for his book. He had just released his book, you know, The Art of Silence and Respect, you know, which is about #1 bestseller on the New York Times and all that shit. Sold millions worldwide. And, you know, he autographed a couple copies for me, man. I got one for me and my boy Triple O, because he couldn't be there. You know, they would have loved to be there, but he had to work. So me and my wife and my son took that trip to Houston, man. You know, made it a family thing. You know, got to meet him. At that time, my son Giovanni wasn't aware of who Jay Prince was. And
Yeah.
shit. So now until he got a little older and shit and did some research, like, God damn, I met this motherfucker. You know, like, yeah, that motherfucker owns islands and shit. And anyway, he was ultimately cool, bro. He was cool as fuck, real calm, real down to earth. He didn't act uppity as fuck, you know. I was just gonna shake his hand. That motherfucker pulled me in for the hug and shit. You know,
like what you did earlier.
yeah, you know, and I'm like that with anybody. Anybody that knows me, I've always been like that, man. You know, unless you give me a reason, or I've known a reason in the past to show any other type of love, I'm gonna give every person that I respect, man or woman, the respect that they deserve as a human being, you know, as a person. That's just the way you gotta carry yourself. Especially when you're attached to names like fucking Slaughterhouse Radio and Mike G Music and 1017 Brick Squad Records and shit, you know. You gotta carry yourself in a professional manner, man. You know what I mean? So I want to apply that shit to all aspects of life.
I've been trying to harp on that, like, you know, if you're a boss man, like let's say you're the head of a group, you're the boss, you're the CEO. You gotta act like it.
Yeah,
you gotta act like it, and you
bro.
gotta carry yourself in a different manner.
Like if I would have, like, say you come into a room, you see a beautiful woman. Like say if you would have been sitting there in a skirt or some shit. A motherfucker from the streets that's hood and shit, you know, that don't have no goddamn training, no goddamn media training, and no fucking doesn't know how to carry himself like a gentleman. He's gonna come and be like, "Damn, what's up, shorty? What's up, mama?" And he's standing there with his homeboy, who's actually a CEO, and he's got business and fucking his name tied to fucking sponsorships and endorsements and contracts and fucking multi-million-dollar deals. he's gonna pull his homeboy to the side and ream his fucking ass, bro. You know what I mean? My homeboys would. You know what I mean? I would do that to my homeboys.
I would too if they were representing me. I'm like, man, you better shut up, dude.
You got a fucking name, you got a logo. You see that logo right there? Be a big old fucking logo right there on your wall and shit.
Yeah.
My fucking name is attached to that logo. You can't be coming in here talking to this lady like that, man. You better go in there and fucking apologize, you know. I've seen that happen, you know what I mean? I've fucking seen it. I've witnessed it myself. So you can't carry yourself like that, man. You know, you gotta, and then vice versa. If it's a woman coming in like, damn, baby, you know, seeing a dude. If she's a boss lady and shit, she can't carry herself like a fucking chick from the street. You know what I mean? She gotta carry herself with some, like with some respect. You know what I mean? So I try to carry myself like that everywhere I go. You know, especially if I'm talking to strangers. You know, because this is the first time I've met y'all. You know what I mean? I don't want to fucking leave a bad impression. If you're a cool person, people will remember that. You know?
Yeah, forever. For sure.
If you're a dickhead, people are always gonna remember that.
First impressions, huh?
I mean, have you ever met somebody that that you kind of like look forward to meeting, or an artist that you looked up to, and then they turn out to be complete dickheads and shit? I mean, it happens.
It's tragic when that happens. Yeah.
And you'll fucking forever remember that. Every time you see that dude's face on a poster or you hear a song on the radio, like, man, I remember meeting that motherfucker backstage at the damn Lone Star event or whatever. Damn, motherfucker was a dick. Fuck him. Change that song, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He lost a fan right there, you know what I mean?
That's what I've been trying to tell people. Like, you got to be careful how you, especially like on social media, you got to be...
Yeah.
There's like 95% of the time, like, there's no need for to go back and forth with somebody.
Yeah, dude.
Ever.
And it took me a minute to learn that, bro. I'm not gonna fucking lie, man. You know, before I started doing the radio and all this shit, because I really haven't been on social media fairly that long, man. Like, I've been doing the Facebook thing like maybe 6 years now, maybe. You know, I was late to the whole social media thing. You know, because my mind frame back then before I started doing music on the level I'm doing it now was like social media and shit like that is for people that got a business or a product, you know, or something to promote, or some music or an album or a movie, you know, something. If you're on it just to get on it, you know, to connect to people, you're gonna holler at chicks, you know what I mean? Chicks are gonna holler at you. If you're a chick, if you're a guy, if you're a girl, guys are gonna holler at you, you know what I mean? Whether she's married or not. Motherfuckers don't give a fuck about that type of shit, you know what I mean? They don't. They'll even go at you harder and shit that you're married to somebody that they hate, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's some kind of connection there already, you know, they'll fucking keep... If you leave that door open, bro, it's gonna cause trouble, you know what I mean? And it breaks people apart and shit, you know? I've seen that happen lots of times. And when I first started doing it, my chick wasn't all with it, you know what I mean? We now we're good. We're at a good place now with it. But when I first started doing that shit, you know, I made a Facebook page. She didn't like that shit. She was mad. That's what we did together. You know what I mean?
There you go.
But you know, I took it in the direction I wanted to. You know what I mean? 'Cause I did what I did with it, and I was able to do some good shit with it. You know, for my music and shit like that.
It's real important to use social media to your advantage.
Yeah, man.
It's slippery slope,
man. Yeah, you gotta have it, bro.
Yeah.
Cause I've been to talent expos and shit like that. You know, with my modeling agency and shit. And the first one I went, I didn't have Facebook. Then I had Google Plus, the only one I had. Y'all remember that shit?
I don't even know what that is.
It's just like Facebook, but it was just on Google. You know what I mean? It was some shit, you know. And I didn't have Facebook, and that's the first thing they asked for. You know, what are you on social media? Do you have any followers? You know, what's your fan base like? You know, I didn't have none of that shit. It was an eye-opening experience for me. Second time I went, you know, it was dope. I was a little more prepared. If I was to go now, you know, I'd kill it and shit, you know what I mean? Because I fucking elevated my shit so much to... Like, what I'm doing now, motherfuckers are going to these expos trying to land shit like that, you know what I mean? You know, so it'd be a really waste of time. You know, it's a good networking opportunity for people to get their foot in the door and shit like that. But, like, have y'all ever heard them things on TV? Like, oh, we're now looking for models and casting and for actors and shit like that, you know. Come over here for auditions, you know. Yeah, I went to them things, bro, you know.
Okay.
And at that time, I was living in Seagraves. You know, little bitty bitch ass town over there.
I've heard of Seagraves, yeah.
They ain't shit there. Another town that ain't got no job.
Another post.
Yeah. Actually, about a little smaller.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that's the first time I ever went to one. And I actually got picked and shit, you know what I mean? To go, you know, do some modeling and acting some shit. So, you know, it was an eye-opening experience. You know, you're able to learn some shit, you know, take some pointers. How'd you get into this? You know, what made you, you know, what inspired you to start doing the podcast?
Before I answer that, I gotta go pee. So I'll answer that once I go pee. What are we at?
35.
Oh man, I didn't make it that long. But yeah, I'll go pee and I'm gonna answer that question.
Shit, go do your thing.
My bad.
I'm
You
gonna
guys,
chop
yeah,
it
you
with
guys,
the co-host,
keep
man.
talking.
Yeah.
I was drinking before, and now I gotta pee.
Gotta go pee, nigga. Gotta go pee.
My bad, dude.
It's all good, nigga. Shit. So what's up, man? How you know homie right here?
I know him. I knew him on Instagram, and then he invited me like a long time ago to be a guest on the podcast. So I came on. We just kind of became friends from there. I came on a few more times, and then he started needing help, and I was just kind of like, is it hard? You know, and he pretty much just sets everything up, and I just first record for him and just kind of help keep the conversation
Shit, well,
flowing.
that's dope though, man. Cause at the same time you learn this shit. I mean, cause like I was mentioning to him earlier, man. I said, man, when I first started launching on Real Talks, you know, this is the type of shit I envisioned and shit. Some goddamn motherfucking mics and shit, you know, and across from each other like this, you know,
Yeah.
cameras. That's dope. I was seeing that there's a place down here in Lubbock that actually rents out some space like this.
Yeah, I want to say it is Dark Productions.
Is that what it
I
is?
think so. I think I've seen that on Instagram where they have like studio spaces.
Yeah, cause I seen
to
something like this
rent
and
World Production?
I think so,
yeah,
right?
I was mentioning
They
to my
have, like, the
homeboy.
studio-
They got a
Studios.
rent that you can rent out their studio.
Yeah.
Yeah, sis. And I was actually I was literally just mentioning this to my boy yesterday or Sunday. I think it was Sunday when we were at the show. And I said, man, bro, you know what I seen the other day? The spot that actually rents out.
Yeah,
you know,
there's two of them now.
yeah.
but that's
the
like-
one that I seen was $35 an hour.
Yeah, that's dork. But
And I'm like, man, that's not shit, bro. That's dope.
that's what I said. If you could do one a week, 2 a week,
Fuck yeah,
that's
dude.
cheap
I'm
compared
like,
to
man,
building all this.
Yeah. But see, but you got something good. You got something good
Yeah.
on it. This is yours and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
This is
I
dope.
love those guys. By the way, I know somebody knows how to navigate because the way you asked that, you're like, so how'd you get into it? Because we were kind of veering off, and then you brought it back in with that question. So I always know, like, oh, somebody knows how to
Get
talk.
something with y'all up here, man. If y'all don't mind.
Mid
man.
conversation. So
Yeah, man. So you know, what made you like say I'm gonna fucking start a podcast, man? Fuck it. You know, what made Roy do that? Did you know anybody that was doing it? You know, like were you
I didn't know.
around somebody?
Nope. No. Really, what was like, so I was about to graduate college. I was about to graduate from Tech. And
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Hey,
So
salute to you, bro.
yeah,
That's
2019.
what's up, man.
2019 graduate.
Hey, that's a big. You
Class
kind of just
2019.
gradually said that shit like that's
Yeah.
casual. That's
Well,
a
I haven't
big
really done
fucking
that.
thing, bro.
Yeah, so I was like,
That's
well,
fucking dope, man.
let me get into that. So I was like, so I'm working landscaping, and I'm going to school, and I'm like, to be honest, I'm like, I don't want to do either of these with my life. I don't want to do manual labor for the rest of my life,
I feel you. I've done that.
and
shit.
I don't want to work an office job, and I just so happen to be like always listening to like Joey Diaz, Joe Rogan, all these guys, and then I'm not gonna repeat the story of how I actually like created the snake pit, but some guy was like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm recording for my podcast," and I didn't have one at the time, and he was like, "Well, what's your podcast?" I was like, "Oh shit, I don't have one." So then I created it.
Fly to the snake pit.
Yeah, so, well, I already had that idea in my head, but I was like, I'm recording it. So I just started it, and I was like, so at this time, this 2019, I'm graduating school. I'm like, man, I'm around, like, you know, I'm around a lot of creative people, like you mentioned earlier. I'm around all these cool people.
And it might not seem like nothing to you, bro, but you get around somebody that's like closed off from society and shit that doesn't know anybody, and then they see somebody, you know, fucking do some shit like, you know, motherfucker pick up a guitar and play some shit that he hears on the radio, like by his ear, you know, they'll be blown away, like, huh, you know, I've been around motherfuckers all my life, you know, so it's like nothing, you know, it was nothing new.
Yeah, so I was like, I was around all these great creative people, and I'm like, I'm not doing anything with my life right now. I mean, I'm still like a productive member of society, but I'm like, people were introducing them. Whenever they heard of me, they were like, "You're such and such's friend. You hang out with them." I'm like, "Yeah, but no, I'm Rattlesnake Roy. I'm not his friend.
Yeah.
I'm Rattlesnake Roy." So I'm like, what can I do? What can I do to fucking? So I just like, fuck it, we'll do this podcast, and I like talking to people, and then it really shot off like this year, and then now it's like. Now I've built this studio here. Luckily, thanks to my parents and all that. COVID hit. Well, then COVID hit actually, and I was like,
Another
"Who was I telling?" I was telling J-Band that last night. I was like, I really like got lucky where I was like, a lot of people are gonna fail or succeed. Like a lot of people are gonna fail, and a lot of people are gonna like just fuck off this whole year. And I'm like, you know what? bars closed.
Man.
Everything's closed. I got money to save now.
Do shit.
I saved all kinds of money because I was still working, luckily.
That's good.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to save all this money. I didn't have nothing to spend it on, so I started building this up. And it just happened. I'm like, you know what?
Bro, you did a badass job, man. This is dope, man.
Thank you. And I was like...
No, in your mind, it's just your parents' garage, nigga. This is a fucking studio, bro.
And it is, but yeah, so I was like...
Shit, you know?
So I was like...
dope.
I luckily just had, like... I had, like, my parents and a few friends were like, you know, you need to buckle down right now so, like, when this is over, you're on top. And I bought that. I bought that last year, and this guy was like, you know, it's on back order because everybody wants to do a podcast right now.
How much does that bitch cost? 3 G's?
No, less than 1,000, but more than 500. So
That's not bad.
So when I bought it, this guy was like, "Hey, we're on back order because everybody wants." He literally told me, he was like, "Everyone wants to do a podcast right now." And I looked, I was like thinking like, "Oh, I wanted to email him back. I didn't. I was like, we'll see where they're at in 3-4 years. Well, I'll still be doing this in 3 or 4 years. Are they gonna still be doing this? No." I'm gonna still be doing this. And I was like,
that's the mindset, dude.
okay, you guys, everybody wants to do this. You hear it all the time. Everybody wants to do a podcast, and if people ask me, I'm like, do it. You're not gonna do it for 5 years. Are you gonna pull out 100 episodes a year for 5 years? No, you're not. But do it. Just do it for fun. See what you got. So that was my mindset, and I was like, I invested more time and more money into this. I'm like, oh shit, I can actually do something with this. Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah, man. I mean, fuck, you know. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm in season 5, bro.
So yeah, tell us about your.
I should have.
Do you have a podcast?
Oh, like I just barely launched Real Talks because my show was called Real Talks with Mike Jizzle. I'm Mike G is where I went, but my homeboys call me Mike. Or my homeboy Triple O, they call him Mike Jizzle. One day just fucking around and it kind of just stuck. And I ran with it and shit, you know. And what I should have did when I launched it was made a YouTube page and shit, you know, an official Real Talks with Mike Jizzle YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I got a Facebook page, but Twitter and all that shit. I should have done it all across, but I did. You know what I mean? You know, and I didn't know what I was gonna do with it. You know, how long I was gonna go with it. If I was even gonna do anything, people were gonna tune in. And then, like, you know, within moments after posting on Twitter or Facebook, one of them. They're like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a web series, you know, going around interviewing motherfuckers here in Lubbock. And then in the beginning, I was just thinking about Lubbock, you know, because Lubbock is fucking teeming with all kinds of people.
That's my main focus right now, is Lubbock.
Lubbock's got so many talented artists, bro. You know what I mean? And being in the underground scene, the music scene, you meet all kinds of motherfuckers that are just dope as fuck, you know what I mean, that you never heard of. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, damn, I never heard of you niggas shit. You know, you're dope as fuck. So, you know, I just wanted to interview motherfuckers going around to the people's houses on my YouTube page or whatever, interviewing people. Well, that's when Slaughterhouse reached out to me and be like, man, you know, we've been watching what you're doing. We like how you move. We like your music. You know, we like the vibe you carry and shit, you know. So, you know, we want to offer you a spot on our roster and shit, you know. So I ran with it. And in the beginning, it was just one show, you know. I was going to just do Real Talks with Mike Jizzle. Then that turned to 2, you know. So I started Mike's Global Mix, you know. They gave me more time and shit. So now I got a fucking 3-hour block and shit, you know what I mean?
So what is your... Is it like hip hop, rap based?
Hip hop, R&B, you know. But shit, you know, I play motherfuckers country, you know.
What is like your focus? What do you talk about?
Pretty much hip hop, you know, entertainment, you know, inspirational type shit, you know, people that. Cause my thing is I like how you mentioned you like to talk to people.
Yeah.
I like to hear people's stories, man. You know, my inspiration is people that have been dragged through the mud, and motherfuckers that have been on the bottom and shit. You know, they've been kicked down and all that, kicked while they was down. And they still get up and still do whatever it is they gotta do to succeed. You know, and being around people like that, you know, that drives me even more. Cause like, damn, that motherfucker did all that with less. I'm over here, you know. It just puts things in perspective for you, know what I mean? Whenever you look at it like that. And not everybody gets the chance to do media, bro, you know what I mean? Or be involved with a radio station or interview people, you know, like what we're doing right now. You know, this ain't everyday shit, you know. Not everybody's cut out for it, you know, not everybody can do it. You know, we're taking time away from our time and shit, you know. My chick can be mad as fuck. She can be a bitch and I'll be mad. You leaving the house again for your baby, you know, are you getting paid for this, you know? No, baby, you know, but that's what the grind comes in, you know what I mean? Because when I launched, back to my show, you know, I launched Real Talks on the podcast, like through Anchor.
Okay.
And I've known about Anchor for fucking 6 years, you know, some shit like that. I heard about it through Gary Vee. You know, I don't know if you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is. You know, so I like yourself, you know, I listen to a lot of shit too, you know, podcasts and the Breakfast Club and fucking all kinds of shit. And Gary Vee's a motherfucker that inspires me, you know, and I've been up on Gary Vee for a while now, actually. And I always go back to the story how he talks about when his homeboy was launching Uber. I don't know if you're familiar with that story.
No, then yeah.
But yeah, his homeboy, you know, he's been around, you know, he's got money, so he's around a lot of motherfuckers like that, you know?
Yeah.
So before Uber became what it is now, today, what we know, his homeboy was toying with that idea and shit. And he's like, hey, Gary, man, you should chip in on, you know, a couple $1,000 on this company I want to start, man. You know,
Motherfucker.
he pitched the idea of Uber to him, and Gary didn't see it. You know, he didn't see his vision. You know, Gary being who the fuck he is, supposed to be know everything, he didn't see it. Like, nah, I'm going to go ahead and pass on this. And like, man, all right, man, sure, 25 G's, bro. Just give me 25 G's, that's all I need.
Fuck.
And he didn't do it, brother. And at the time when I was watching this interview, he's like, man, if I had fucking gave him the 25 G's that day, my shit would be worth $300 million a day. So he's like, fuck, God, you know, that's one that he kicks his ass.
I bet he fucking does.
And he's like, man, I'm rich, you know, I'm a millionaire, I'm good, you know, I'm not fucking hurting or anything, but fuck 300 million, you know what I mean? For 25 G's. You know, and that's where it comes in, you know, like you gotta be willing to, you know, risk and shit, you know, invest and shit. But yeah, anyway, I launched my fucking shows through Anchor, you know, because I heard through Anchor on that podcast through him mention it. And I said, man, I'm gonna do it. And I did it. It was barely like 3 weeks ago, literally. So it's on Spotify now. Real Talks with Mike G podcast is on Spotify.
And it's just audio only?
Audio right now, yeah. So I'm trying to get up to speed on this shit right now because in the beginning, when I launched Real Talks, what I was doing was using a camera to record the interviews, bro. Like I'd be talking to you right now, I'd have a fucking camera right here just to get an audio. Then I get the card out. And my team, you know, my homeboy Triple O and his wife Jana, Molina Entertainment, they helped me produce it, you know, down to convert that file down to an MP3 file to enter into our music program, and that's where we edit it and clip out shit and enter, you know, applause and sound effects and the music. Like if I'm interviewing you, like, all right, man, it's been about 35 minutes, right? Like how she said, I think it's about a good time to hit our listeners with the track, man. You know, what do you want to introduce, bro? What do you want to hit them with? And at that point, the artist interviews my song, which is dropping tomorrow or at this time, or is out now on all platforms. I go stream it, add it to your playlist, and then I go into it. Right there's where we cut it, put in the track, a little advertising after that, another commercial, some shit about tuning in on this time at that time. Go follow so and so, yada yada. I got the show coming up next week, and we go back to the interview. You know what I mean? That's how we do it.
Dang, yeah, that's a lot of.
Yeah, it's a lot of shit,
that's a lot.
And it's to motherfuckers that actually do the, you know, the computer.
For those of you wondering why I don't do all that, it's because I do the producing and I'm lazy.
It's a lot. Of work,
I'm lazy.
It's a lot of work, you know. So I don't ever.
I just want pure conversation. Like I respect people who do all the other stuff, but
and while we're doing this right now, like how we're talking, you know, some music will be playing in the background, which I insert.
Yeah.
And the beauty about Anchor, Anchor, if anybody's talking about doing a podcast right now, and you're not familiar with it, and you're not a techie, you know, which obviously Roy is. He's a techie. He got all that shit set up, you know.
Kinda.
Yeah, kinda. You know. Okay.
By default.
By default, you know. Yeah. But you know, there's a lot of people that ain't that far along with it. You know what I mean? You know, intellectually wise, you know, I say the easiest way to do it is through Anchor. You know, to download an app, you're able to record it like that, upload it. You can edit the file on your phone and all that. And like, I actually sent some tips and shit to them the other day about what they could do to make it better. You know.
Nice.
So hopefully they fucking listen
Anchor's
to what
free,
I said.
Right?
Anchor is free. Anchor is free. It's a free app, free platform, man. You gotta go create it. And if you got some shit,
I don't use
about,
Anchor.
Man,
I'll be honest. I don't use it, but I've heard a lot of people use it. Good things about it.
And with that, man, they distribute it to you, bro, to Spotify and all that shit.
Yeah.
So that's pretty dope, man. Google Apps and all that.
Yeah. If I were to give advice, like I'm with you. Like if you want to start a podcast, I say you should do it audio first only. That's how I started.
And it's audio. It's just audio.
I did it on my phone for a whole year almost before I went to YouTube. And I think, you know, if you want to do a podcast, you should figure out how to. It's hard to learn how you want to, like, what direction you want to go, and how you talk to your guest. You know.
Exactly. Like, what do you want to talk about? You know?
Yeah.
Business, entrepreneurship, inspiration shit, spiritual shit. You know.
Yeah.
UFOs, go. I mean, it's a fucking wide range.
See, it's fun. Like, it's fun having, like, not having one avenue. Like, learn. Like, we can talk about all that, but it's hard because, like, I gotta be on my shit. Like, I gotta know at least something about everything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, fuck. Okay. Well, I better. It's a challenge, and I love it. I love it. But I'm with you. Like, any chance I get, like, that's all fine and dandy. But like you're saying, like, there's no money in this for years. For me, anyways. For me.
And what you gotta do, you know, to get the money, you know, is to get the sponsorships, you know, because shout out to Anchor, you know, they are one of my sponsors, you know, for podcast. For the Real Talks with My G podcast, you know, which is out now on Spotify and Anchor and all that, Google Podcast, Radio Public, Breaker. I mean, all that shit. I don't know. It's a lot of podcast platforms.
I was just looking at that radio.
Yeah, it's out on that. You know, if it's podcast, they got podcasts. The Real Talks with Mike G podcast is on there, man. And I only got a couple episodes that I've aired on there that I've put on there so far that I published. I actually got one that I need to finish editing with a dope artist out of San Antonio. Her name is Bossalina, and she's got some dope music out there. And I'm actually supposed to be interviewing the president of 1017 Brick Squad Records, you know, on there here pretty soon as well too. So, I mean, yeah, man, 'cause I'm working on putting a show together. I wasn't gonna announce it yet, but fuck it, we're on the podcast, I might as well. We're talking about setting up a show here for you know, to have artists perform, but to bring 1017 Brick Squad Records down to Lubbock, you know.
So 1017 Brick Squad, who is that?
It's OG Mac Drama. It's an imprint off of Waka Flocka and Gucci Mane.
Okay, I was associating that with Gucci Mane.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking about.
Yeah, so they're affiliated. It's an imprint off of his label.
Okay.
And Gucci Mane still has 1017 Brick Squad and OG Mac Drama. Like, I don't know, they split off and shit. I don't know. I don't know the whole history, you know, behind them and all
but
that.
it's kind of connected to that.
Yeah, but it's some shit like that, you know. But yeah, it's a major record label, you know. And they got some dope artists right now, man. They got Artillery the God, they got SMB, Young New 5, and they just signed him and Big All Star. And they got some dope tracks, man. They got a song called Spot 'em, Got 'em out right now. The video hit like 145,000 streams within 1 month. So they're working on some big shit.
And you work for them?
Yeah, man. I just got brought on as the executive representative for the Southern region.
So what does that mean?
Shit, I'm gonna be making business decisions, man. Bringing some more fucking shine and light to the artists, booking shows, trying to get some shit popping.
So you're trying to get a show here?
Yeah, man, and with the possibility of possibly signing somebody to 1017 Brick Squad, you know what I mean? So
there you go.
You know, we're trying to bring something. You know, now that COVID's kind of letting up and shit, you know what I mean? I'm actually able to move around because I wasn't wanting to move. I wasn't trying to do shit last year at all, you know?
Understandable.
Now that my baby's, you know, fixing to be a year, you know, I think it's about time to get back into it.
So whenever you, like even now or in the future, when you want to sign somebody, what do you look for?
Well,
what do they got to have?
The thing that they're looking for, man, because, you know, it's nowadays this is what a lot of artists get misconstrued, man. It's not. It's more about having some dope ass bars and shit. You know, getting into a booth and being able to spit.
Okay, well, so obviously the talent has to be there.
Yeah.
But other than that, what else are you looking for?
What they're looking for is somebody with an actual fan base and shit.
Okay.
With the actual following. You know what I mean? That's actually visible on social media. Mm-hmm. You know, somebody that's across all social media platforms. You know, somebody that's actually marketable. You know, I mean, when they go on their social media, are they gonna just see a bunch of pictures of you standing around with guns and blunts and 40s and shit, you know what I mean? I mean, what type of message are you trying to, you know, they're gonna look at that type of shit, you know. What type of attention or what?
So you think I'm sorry, you think I'm fucking stupid for saying that? Like I look for that, I'm like, you got guns and shit on your shit. I'm not gonna have you over here. Yeah. You don't think the bigger guys are looking at that shit? Come on, now listen to this right here.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. You know, that's the type of shit they're looking for. You know what I mean? And I've said that to lots of people that I've had on my shows that I know. Like, man, you know. That type of shit's only gonna get you looked at by a certain type. You know, you can only go so far.
You don't want to go with that crowd, right?
You can only go so far with that. You know what I mean? So, what type of message you trying to spread with your music? You know, what you trying to say? You know, not only that, but you know, they look at the reaction you get. You know, from on your comments and you know likes and shit. Like you know, people that don't really pay too much attention to social media. You know, that's a big thing. You know, whether it is
it's like engagement, right?
Yeah, engagement. Whether you're trying to audition for a fucking show. Go reach the scripts and shit, you know, or trying to get onto a record label, you know what I mean, or to a talent agency. Then look at that type of shit, you know. Can you can you promote yourself? You know what I mean, can you market yourself? You know, because it's more about just being able to sing or spit or looking cute. And you gotta do some more, you know. You gotta do all kinds of shit, you know what I mean. Nowadays, with social media and the digital shit. So that's what they're looking for, man. They're looking for somebody that's pretty much got the package and shit, you know, ready to go.
So you're kind of the guy who like kind of eyes out this talent and then tells
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah, because there's a lot of, I mean, 'cause I told him, man, there's a lot of people here in Lubbock, you know, not just in Lubbock, but in this whole general area.
Have you heard? I think you have, right? The 806 Where's Everybody Festival.
Yeah, yeah.
How
We're
do you-
actually supposed to be making an appearance there too as well. Me
Yeah.
and my boy Triple O. Somebody that he came in contact with at work, you know.
We'll be set up there.
No shit.
Probably doing a pod.
Oh,
like
no shit,
I
that's
think I'm gonna
what's up.
try to set up there and do like
live
little
podcast?
like not really like a live one, but like 10-minute segments with like
To people.
all kinds of people, and then
Yeah,
I'm gonna be
that's
out there
dope, bro.
fucking interviewing people.
Fuck
Drunk
yeah.
as shit.
Well, that's what's up, nigga. Hell yeah.
I'm gonna be
Salute you,
drunk
bro.
as shit, fucking talking shit to people. But yeah, so like, how do you feel about that? Like that kind of movement?
Man, that's dope, bro. And it's good, you know. I'm glad he asked that, man, because that's a good point you bring up. I feel that the hip hop scene or the music scene in general is in a good place right now in Lubbock.
You do?
Because, I mean, I don't know if you following the 806 or the homeboy Prev.
Love him.
Man, I'm up a
We're gonna do a show here soon.
Shout out to Prev's the best, man. He had me on the show a couple months back, man. I've been seeing that motherfucker grow, dude, like a motherfucker. These last shows he put on, man, dude, that motherfucker's packed out, dude. And I was like, wow, that's what's up, you know. I
think he's doing one tomorrow at Bashas'.
Yeah. He's been doing that, man. Shout out to him and Ezra. You know, they've been teaming up with that at the Culture Lounge. You know, to see that shit is good, man, because Lubbock, man, we've had shows, you know, for a long time, man, you know, and it's always mixed reactions, bro. You know what I mean? They don't get the same turnouts that country shows do or rock shows do, you know what I mean? It's just the way it's always been, you know what I mean? Even before I started doing the hip hop thing, I was seeing that shit myself. And I always said that. I said, man, Lubbock doesn't fucking love, you know, Lubbock don't pay attention to rappers. But now I'm seeing that, you know, it's kind of, you know, they did a good thing with that Mr. Cube show, man. You know,
Oh,
they
yeah.
brought a lot of attention, you know, they made some money. You know, they got Bobby Billings coming in here pretty soon too as well.
Yeah, that's tomorrow. That's what I was talking about.
Yeah, tomorrow, you know,
Yeah.
and not only that, but Dope Dylan, Dylan Bingham, aka Dope Dylan on Facebook. He's got Justin Case coming to Amarillo, I believe next weekend as well, man. You know, that's gonna be dope as hell. I actually had a chance to meet him at a show a couple like last year, I believe, at Car Show in La Mesa. Shout out to him and his manager, Chris Hernandez, man. You know, I'm gonna get him on a show pretty soon too. But yeah, man, I feel like it's in a good place, man. You know, a lot of people are dropping projects. A lot of people are making shit happen. You know what I mean? They're, as far as like shows and going out of town and out of state to perform and shit. Like shout out to Trouble Oak out of Hobbs, New Mexico, man. He's in, I believe, in Iowa right now or Salt Lake
Oh shit.
to go perform at some big ass 420 Bash Fest or some shit over there, man. And that's fucking states away, bro. You know what I mean? That's dope as fuck.
You gonna be at that 420 fest?
Man, I want to, bro. Fucking Yvette Nichols, man. She invited me to go perform.
Oh, nice.
Because she was at the show. She was at the show this weekend, and she was like, "Man, how come you didn't fucking sign up to get on the lineup this year? Goddamn it!" And I was like, "Man, I was on it for last year, man, but fucking COVID fucked it up. You know what I mean? So I didn't. You know, I wasn't. By the time I seen the flyers, it was already made and shit." Joe Dirt hit me up and he's like, "Man, what's up? You want to get on this?" So I said, "Yeah, put me on." So she told me, "Man, show up. Show up, have your music ready, man. I'll put you in there somewhere." So I may or may not go, man.
I was thinking about going.
I mean, but I got to work Saturday, though, man. That's
Yeah.
the thing. They just hit me up. Like, I actually on my way over here. Like, man, we got to work Saturday, nigga, so plan on working Saturday.
Yeah,
So if I get off, I'm going to be tired as fuck. I ain't going to want to go rotting on stage and shit.
I respect it.
I'm going to go to sleep.
There you
I'm
go.
gonna go to sleep
You know,
and
do you work on Sundays?
Nah, I'm going to be off Sunday, though.
So there you go.
If they ask us to, you know, I go in. Who's going to say no to OT? I mean, I get paid a lot of money, bro, so OT money's even better.
Even better, right?
So I fucking jump on that shit when I can. But, you know, after that, I'm going to come back and do interviews like this. You know what I mean? I'm going to be doing an interview when I get home after this.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And
Gotta keep them in, man. Gotta keep it coming. That's why they get them fucking sponsorships.
let me get you close to the mic, sir. I can't even.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
I keep straighting away.
you can move the mic back if you want.
Let me scoot the chair up.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
I forget, man. I'm with that good fancy shit right here. This
There
is,
you go. Shout out to my boy Alex. He got me this table that allowed this to move better.
Man, this is dope, man. Hey,
Yeah.
for anybody that hasn't come fuck with the Snake Pit yet, man. Shout out to Roy. You got a dope setup here, bro. I respect
you.
what you're doing, man.
Appreciate it.
I definitely appreciate you reaching out to me to be a guest on the show too. as well.
I was interested. I think it was a little bro. Lil bro put me on the.
Shout out, little bro, man.
I think so.
Yeah, matter of fact, I interviewed him on the Real Talks and shit. You know,
That's what it was. Then yeah, he told me. Yeah, yep.
for the podcast.
So it was.
And
He was like, "Hey, check this out," and I was like, "Whoa."
I'll have his episode airing on the radio show probably in about another 2-3 weeks. Next Thursday, I'm gonna have Frost G. He's an affiliate of 1017 Bridge Squad Records. I'm gonna have his interview airing. Then after that one, I'm gonna have Shelly Bees.
I was gonna ask you. I heard you did one with Shelly B. I thought
Yeah.
you already had it out.
Yeah, well, I have it on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
On Spotify and Anchor and all that. Actually, she was the first actual official episode.
So whenever like people like that, you do it in person.
Yeah, whenever I'm like, well, actually, I didn't get to do Shelly B in person, and which was she was here in town too, but it was late that evening because I believe I called her like around 9 o'clock or some shit, and she was actually finna go get her nails done or something like that.
Yeah.
She's like, man, my bad. I'm like, man, it's all good, girl. No hurry, man. Just do your thing.
Yeah.
If you're available still, hit me up. We'll get it. I don't give a fuck what time it is, because I already told her I was gonna do it. You know what I mean? And it's like what I say, you book some shit and then some shit happens, and so you try to work around it. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it was like about 11:30, 12 o'clock by the time I finished doing that one. And I got my wife inside chilling like, who you talking to some chick? Like, so luckily, she's not all, she's not one of them. You know what I mean? She could be like that, but she sees what I'm doing and shit. And she sees how I've grown, and as far as when I first started doing this type of shit, I mean, going and talking to some people like Jay Prince was kind of a big deal, So she seen that I wasn't playing and shit.
That's a huge deal.
Yeah, so she seemed like, man, I can actually do some shit with this.
Did you do one with Country too?
Country De La Rosa? Yeah, man. I had Country De La Rosa on the show, man.
He's one of my favorite people ever.
And between me and my homeboy Triple O, we talk about this a lot, Like I said, there's a lot of talented motherfuckers in this area. In my personal opinion, I feel Country is one of the better ones, bro. Cause he's not only he's dope as fuck when he spits and shit, rap, but he's very, very versatile. Like I don't know if you checked out his whole album, this whole project he put out, his last one, Tragically Ever After.
Yeah.
Man, that motherfucker's a work of art, bro. I mean, that shit, I feel it's got at least 4 commercial potential bangers. Like that one, You Ain't Mine, and I Ain't Yours. I think it's called, fuck, man, I'm gonna look that motherfucker up right now, dog.
He's a good performer too, man. He's nuts.
And check this out. One thing that I was surprised at when I interviewed that he revealed to me is whenever he hits the stage, bro, every fucking show, you may not be able to tell, but man, that motherfucker's shy. Like he said, he gets nervous when he hits stage, bro. Like that's why he wears glasses and shit. He doesn't want to make eye contact with people. Like I don't know what it is, Mike. I feel anxious and nervous. Like I get nervous. Like man, nigga, I can't. Why, motherfucker? You bad as fuck.
It's probably because he knows deep down inside how good he is.
Yeah, he felt like that, man. So I was surprised. I was surprised to hear that. It's called Roots. That song called Roots on there, man.
You need one?
Yeah, I'll take my shit. Yeah, man, but that whole album in general is dope as fuck, dude. But yeah, him, I mean, it's hard, if somebody like that, with the album like that doesn't blow up, what's it gonna take, in our area? So if I bring the show over here, and I'm able to make it pop and shit, make it happen, and we actually get somebody signed and shit, that'd be dope as fuck. I mean, I feel that add credibility to Lubbock, bring credibility to Lubbock as a hip hop, spot to scout talent and shit. I think that make motherfuckers open their ears and their eyes to Lubbock, to West Texas and shit in general. And like, hey, motherfucker, y'all looking for a talent over there in LA and New York? Like, there's motherfuckers over here doing the same shit, better than that.
Well, where do you think they come from? They move over there, but they come from here.
I'm telling you, man. Everybody wants that Texas sound, man, that Houston sound. Because Lubbock's woven this. Texas has woven itself into the hip hop game and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, Third Coast.
I was telling Young D the Great that
shout out Young D.
It kind of sucks that when you're from Lubbock, you're competing against Houston and Dallas, but those guys are the best in the country. You know what I mean? They, like you're saying, they have their own sound. They're the big dogs.
They have their own sound, bro.
They're the best of the best. You gotta Lubbock's kind of fucked right now. But I take that back because we do have a lot of great talent. It's just I if I can say, I'm trying to shine my light on that a little bit. Vari's doing his thing. You're doing your thing.
And that's all I'm doing on my shows, man. 'Cause when I got presented this opportunity to get the show, I could have just been playing none of my, all my fucking music, all my homeboys and shit. But I was like, man, there's just so much talent in this area, and people reach out to me, man. I mean, I pull up my emails right now. I probably got 20 emails that I ain't read and shit. People submissions, people sending me music. I get that day in, day night. I mean, day in, day night. I mean, day in and day out.
Yeah.
Had a motherfucker. But yeah, man, and there's so many people out there. And a lot of people don't know how to move and shit. Like, they don't know how to get their music on the radio or, how to go about doing it, So, whatever knowledge I know, man, I'm gonna spread, you know what I mean? Because I know what I know now because I've been fortunate enough to cross paths and rub shoulders with some pretty smart people and people that have made moves and done shit. You know, that know actually done things in the game. You know, they fucking got millions of streams and made money. And when I was first interviewed like this, you know what I mean, on the show, shout out to Bishop Graves. He had me on Mob Out Mondays back in the day, man, and I was asking questions like, you know, what do you got to do to get your shit on Spotify? You know, how do you get registered? You know, so he's the one to put me up on game like on BMI and SoundScan and ASCAP and shit like that. You know what I mean? So you got to do all this type of shit. Nowadays, you know, CD Baby and places like that, distributors like DistroKid or TuneCore, you know, they make it easier for
It's a lot easier now. Huh?
They make it a lot easier, bro. And I was trying to do that shit manually, like each fucking song, each barcode and UPC code, you know. And I'm not a computer guy, you know. I'm not. So it was hard for me, bro. And like how I asked you earlier, like, are you around people that do this type of shit? You know, what made you want to do podcasts? And you're like, nope, don't know anybody.
YouTube University.
Me too. I don't know anybody that, you know, that does radio, like acting. You know, I'm on TV. You might see me on TV, bro. You know, I'm on commercials and shit. You know, so I didn't have anybody around me doing this type of shit. You know, it's just something that I did out of the box and shit. You know, I don't want to be like everybody else, and I just took it and kept it moving with it, you know, kept running with it. So, you know what I mean? That's what I say to anybody, man. You know, don't feel complacent. You know, if you're in a spot in life right now where you're not happy with what you're dealing with, your job, you know, your relationship, you know, friendship, whatever the fuck it is, you know, your story doesn't have to end right there, you know what I mean? You hold your fucking power to change that shit, you know, you can change that narrative. You know, like I said, if you want to do a podcast, but you don't know how to do computers and all that shit, or know how to work mics or mixing boards, fucking get it.
It's all excuses.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's all excuses. It really is, man, because nowadays, like, literally, knowledge of a university is at your fingertips and shit. Like, with that shit you got on your phone right here, motherfuckers sent people to the moon with this, you know.
You can take over the world with this damn thing.
Yeah, with all this shit right here on this phone, you know, they had a room. It took a room to fill, to fill up shit like this. And they sent people to the moon with that. You know, so you can really change some shit, man. You know, that's really what I try to preach on my shows and shit, you know what I mean? The message I give. Because I've had people on my show that, you know, that I listened to their music growing up, you know what I mean?
Nice.
And that's dope as fuck, you know what I mean? Like, damn, the fact that I've actually able to maneuver myself in life and shit, you know, to be able to be in a position to talk to people like yourself, you know, and it's always a big honor for me, man. And
no, I always like, if I'm not looking for artists, I'm looking for podcasters. I love talking to podcasters and like getting their perspective because I learn things from them. I like learning like just different shit, whether it's like the technical shit or the how they ask questions or why they did it or whatever, man. It's fucking cool learning
and
like,
listening to people like Joe Rogan, how he said,
that's
man.
all
you know,
I listen to, dog.
Like that's kind of what inspired me, bro. You know, like you know the Breakfast Club. I'm a big fan of the Breakfast Club. You know, Joe Rogan. I was listening to Howard Stern back in the day. You know what I mean? And I mean, there's just so many of them out there.
Yeah, they were kind of the first ones, huh?
Yeah. Howard Stern was the motherfucking one, dog. He was the man, dude. He was ahead of his game and shit, man. Ahead of his time. Still doing it, you know what I mean?
Still doing it.
And like, you know, people like, I listen to a lot of other shit too, like Coast to Coast AM and shit, you know, with George Norrie, shit like that, you know, where they talk about all kinds of crazy shit, you know, like ghosts and fucking, you know.
Did you ever check out Art Bell?
Yeah, the Art Bell show, man. Yeah.
Art Bell.
That
Oh
shit
gosh,
is dope, huh?
she speaks.
Man, dude, yeah. She's right though, cause
Ghost to Ghost.
Cause he's a guest on that. Like he hosts that shit sometimes, you know. Whenever
Well, he's dead now, but.
Well, yeah. He's gone. I'm about to write about that shit, dude. Damn.
Yeah.
But he would host that too, though. You know, like if it wasn't George Norrie hosting it, it was Art Bell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he took it over.
And people call in with some crazy shit, bro. Like man, cause I was fracking for a long time when I got turned on to that, and I had a job where I'd be out in the middle of an oil field and shit fracking inside of a command center trailer, big ass TVs like the size of a wall. And we'd be down for like fucking hours, bro. So I just had my laptop or my phone, Wi-Fi, boom, listening to shit. And man, right there's where I heard stories about like the Afghan giant. Did you ever hear that story about the Afghanistan giant?
No.
Dude, this shit is crazy.
So it's like
man.
conspiracy, like paranormal shit, not conspiracy.
Yeah, it's like Coast to Coast. It was just kind of just like a random radio show, but Ghost to Ghost was like a focus on like paranormal.
Yeah.
So what was that one?
And the Afghan, you know, it's like, you know, conspiracy type shit, but a lot of it was just declassified shit that was classified by the military, you know, that
Like just shit they seen as
shit
like
that took place and that, you know,
the troop scene?
operations they did, yeah, and they kept it classified, they hid it, and then motherfuckers would, you know, go leak the information, you know, people that were part of that operation You know, they couldn't take the fucking, you know, hiding it and being forced to shut the fuck up. You know, don't say nothing or you're gonna die or your family's gonna get hurt. Like those type of scenarios. And they were like, fuck this shit, you know. My friend's there, you know. We want answers and shit, you know. And you know, why the fuck are we having to hide, you know? And they go there and call motherfuckers like George Norrie. Because they got millions of fucking fans, you know. If he was to stream right now, like say you're George Norrie. If he was to turn his phone on right now and start streaming that shit, like within 10 seconds, there'd be 5 million motherfuckers listening, dude, watching, hanging on your every word, you know what I mean? So that's power, bro, you know what I mean? Especially when it's across the fucking globe, because he's like, every time he comes on the show, he's like, hey, it's George Norrie coming on to you, speaking to you from an undisclosed location in the Nevada desert or some shit, you know what I mean? And he's like really sitting in a motherfucking skiff, you know, that niggas can't fucking, you know, track him down and shit, and he's talking about all that type of shit. With somebody talking in another skiff in another part of the country.
Shit? Well, because at one point, and you can find it on YouTube, but at one point somebody found Art Bell during a radio show. Like they found his location. They called in and they're like, "Oh no, like this is where you're at. I'm standing outside."
I think I heard that one.
Shit, yeah, you know that motherfucker was scary because, you know, they go through a lot of shit. You know, they take precautions.
Actually, I think I know what you're talking about on that one.
Yeah, that one's really eerie actually because it was.
I think it was pretty like famous one.
Yeah, that one, and there's also the one where they pulled the entire show off the air while it was on air because somebody from like Area 51 called.
Then I know what you're talking about with that one.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And they cut it right, like when they were just
because he's all crying and shit, right?
Okay, then I have heard that. I've heard those too.
Man, see, and that shit is real, bro. And this is before, like nowadays, you know, the world and society in general is in a different spot now. I mean, look, they're talking about the motherfucking UFOs on the Pentagon. Like now that
it's real, like yeah.
Like now how that program came out and shit, ATIP, whatever, you know, like you got the motherfucking government officials coming forward talking about, you know, you got Stephen Greer talking about that shit with the undisclosed encounters of the fifth kind, what it's called. Or he's got a show called Unacknowledged. Have y'all ever seen Unacknowledged? Dude, check out Unacknowledged. Okay, whenever y'all get a chance, you know, tomorrow, if y'all ain't doing shit.
I'm off tomorrow, so yeah.
Unacknowledged. Just spell like that. It is by Stephen Greer. Eye-opening, mind-blowing shit, bro.
My dad thought he saw a UFO, but it was SpaceX.
I have, bro.
That was last week. Like SpaceX, they're like launching shit. Yeah. Like you see it in the sky, and his dumb ass thought.
Hey, I go out record here, and I'm very open about this, bro. I've seen UFOs. I took pictures. I can pull up a picture right now. You know, you're not gonna see nothing but a goddamn dot. It's gonna look like a star in the fucking sky because it was broad daylight, but it was right outside the motherfucking IMAX theater, bro. My wife and I, my son, my daughter, and 30 other people, bro. 30 other people, all out there like that. You know what I mean?
When was this?
It's been about maybe 5 years ago. Okay. And it came out on the news and shit. They tried to explain it away as a weather balloon. But check this out, you know, coming from a scientific perspective, if it was a weather balloon, which it wasn't. If it was a weather balloon and it floated away, because I remember that day, clear as day, it was not a cloud in the sky. It wasn't windy, nothing. If it was a weather balloon and it had floated away, you'll be able to see that shit, you know, floating away for fucking miles, you know what I mean? If it was a weather balloon. This shit was there. I'm there talking to a complete white lady or chick, you know. They wouldn't normally be talking to me for any other fucking reason and shit, but they're like, God damn, it's a fucking goddamn UFO. You know, we're all talking about it, you know, taking pictures, videoing. Then, like, within that split second, the motherfucker was gone. And everybody's like murmuring, oh, where'd it go? Where'd it go? And it was so low that you felt like you can hit it with a rock, bro. Like, it was maybe a couple of 100 feet up. It was in between IMAX and the Home Depot.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
right
about.
There, bro. I'll show you pictures in a little bit, you know, but it's not good. The pictures don't show it. They don't give it justice and shit, you know what I mean? But, yeah, it was a UFO. I mean, I seen it, you know what I mean?
Are you interested in all that? Like, the paranormal and UFOs and all that?
It's real, bro. And back to that George Norrie shit, you know what I mean? But the Afghan giant.
Oh yeah.
Like this was before, like, you know, the society was where it was at now. Like conspiracy theories were those conspiracy theories. You know what I mean?
So is this like a cryptoid type thing?
Well, it was a military operation. Like they were in Afghanistan, and when I heard it, you know, and it was a live broadcast that day. They had the helicopter pilot from that operation. They actually called in and shit, and he was talking to George Norrie on live and telling them, relaying their story and shit. And after that, you know, years later, like, man, what happened? You know, you never heard nothing about it. Like now, more stuff is coming out about it. But what happened was a special unit came in, and they were tracking down a unit that had went missing. So they went in the mountains of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So they went and they find like pieces of bone and shit, you know, or pieces of, they didn't know what kind of bone it was, but it was bone. Right, like outside of the mouth of a cave and shit, off a big old cliff, like on the edge of a cliff. Like here's a cliff, big old cave right here, and they're all right here. Well, out of that cave, a big ass, like anywhere from 13 to 15 foot man comes out all, you know, with a big ass spear and shit and a shield, you know, red hair, fucking big motherfucker, you know. So imagine a big fucking 15
Like a
dude.
Bigfoot type shit, right?
No, it wasn't hairy. It was just
Oh, it's just a man?
a white, you know, white skin, red hair,
Oh shit.
beard and all that shit. Bearded man wearing like a loincloth and shit, you know, carrying a spear. Comes out fast and shit, you know. And they start blasting this motherfucker. You know, it killed their commander. Like picked him up on the spear and was still coming at him and shit. So like, you know, one of them said, shoot him in the face, you know, and they all just started blasting. So I just picture some military badasses and shit with fucking big old components, big old guns, just blasting a big ass dude in the face, you know, so they killed it. But after that, you know, they called it in, you know, to save their dude. Instead of the fucking medevac coming to pick up their dude, they sent a recovery helicopter, you know, and they sent the big ass net down, they picked it up, you know, that, and they sent it off and shit, you know, so then they got sent off they got picked up by a separate helicopter to get debriefed and shit, you know. But like the guy that was flying the beast that picked it up, he was the one that was calling in on that show, you know, on the George Noy show, talking about it.
Motherfucker.
Because it was, you know, he wanted like, man, you know, and this is what they know about it, the facts. These are the facts. It was 15 feet tall, you know, and they had it on the big ass pallet, you know, when they brought it up. When they
I imagine
brought it in.
15 feet's like this whole.
Yeah,
right
probably
here.
about from the garage to about
Yeah.
the end of the table, dude. And they had it like he was laying on his side and she curled up like in the fetal position inside the helicopter. You know, and the motherfucker was laying down next to it and comparing their feet to his feet and shit. And the dude that was talking, he was the load master of the helicopter, right? He was in charge of how much weight can be carried onto the, you know, the helicopter and all that shit, you know, before it'll fuck with their lift. And what they were bringing on was 1,500 pounds.
Oh shit.
And you take away all the shackles and chains they were using to hold it down and tie it down, that was about 200 pounds. So anywhere from 12 to 1,100 pounds, dude. So imagine that. A 1,200 pound motherfucker coming in.
So this is the Afghan giant you said?
The Afghan. It's on YouTube. You can check it out.
I'm about
you
to
know?
check it out in a little bit.
George Norrie, though, I mean, that shit was like, damn. Like, that shit should be a movie and shit, you know what I mean? But since then, you know, whenever he came forward with that, they had two other guys that came forward with it, you know, and like and according to them, it was common knowledge in the military over there in Afghanistan. Oh, you talking about the Afghan giant? Like, everybody knew about it.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of like hush hush, but not really, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be declassified, but niggas was talking about it. And the ones that came about it was because, you know, their fucking dude got killed, you know, and they had to hide it.
Oh, why would they hide that though?
I mean, exactly. That's not national security.
Yeah.
I mean, if anything, having a motherfucker like that running around is national security, a threat to
fucking
national
nuts.
security. I mean, imagine that shit, dog. But that goes back to, like, you know, the Nephilim and all that type of shit, you know, because supposedly it had, like, it matched the descriptions that were in the Bible and shit, you know. It had 2 rows of teeth, 6 fingers, 6 toes, the long reddish hair, you know, the color of the skin. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation, man, but that George Norrie coast to coast shit is some real shit, dog. It's like, man, if you like that type of shit, tune into George Norrie.
Well, the whole point is that you like to listen to a lot of shit though. Like that's
man,
your thing.
You got to, man.
And you just listen.
I've never been a closed-minded individual, you know. You can't put me in one box, and I try to strive like it, man. You know, you want to, there's a lot of shit out there that we don't know about.
That's spooky.
Yeah, definitely when you don't know about it and it's, you know, really out there. It's crazy. How do you feel about, you know, UFOs? You know, what's your perspective on UFOs? You?
I will say this. A lot of that shit is probably just fucked up, like just cover-ups for military shit. But I do believe I do believe there's life out there. It has to be. There has to be.
Got to, man.
It has to be.
It's too big to not, you know, to not.
And I don't know. I just that's my belief on UFOs is like, I think if you think about it, let's just think about it. If there was a time for aliens to make an appearance, why not now? This is like the wildest time in recent history, other than like maybe World War II. This is some fucked up shit that's going on now. Why wouldn't they make fucking landfall now? It's some weird shit going on. There's a fucking virus.
Yeah.
People are dying. There's war. I think that it's only a matter of time before they're like, yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
I think so.
There's all kinds of shit going on in this world today, dude. And
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that everybody's got cameras nowadays, and everybody's phones got cameras, and there's cameras on everybody's doorbell or every light outside and shit, every stoplight, there's full cameras everywhere.
How do you feel about this statement? So I was just thinking about this. I literally just thought about this. So let's say, like, have you heard, like, pesticides and all this, pollution? We're killing a lot of species, right? We're killing a lot of things. So if you think about it, the rare Afghan giant, shit like that, they're the only ones that are being left. Like, of course they're going to come out because there's nothing left to fucking... Yeah. We're killing all the fish in the sea. We're killing all the fucking land animals on land. Like, of course these guys are going to start making it like these weird mystic shit. I think so. Like, all these weird fucking... all these fucking monsters that are like... that are like, legends. Of course they're gonna come out because they're fucking dying. They gotta come out. I was thinking about that.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing else for them to do. They have to come out because we're killing everything else.
To eat.
That's why, like, to eat and to survive. Like, we're destroying the land. We're killing everything. So of course, like, Loch Ness monsters, Afghan giants, Bigfoot, they're all coming out because they got nothing else. It's like, it's sad. It's very sad, but it's like, yeah, maybe that's why, like, these things are making appearances because there's nothing left for them to do.
And that Afghan giant, what I mean? Whenever they went and found it and shit, it was like a whole team that had got missing, up there, like probably 7 or 8 soldiers, and they all got eaten and shit, because they found pieces of bone and all that. And what made that dude stop and get suspicious was because he's like, I don't know what kind of bones they were, because the dude is part of the mission. He's the one talking about it, He's the one relating the story. And they're interviewing him like this, and they have his face blurred out, of course, and shit, because he's still in the military and shit. But he's fearing for his family's safety. So he's being blurred out, and his voice is, like, kind of covered up and shit, or distorted. But he's like, I seen the bones and the blood, which could have been an animal or whatever. But what I did see, what I did notice, I recognized was a piece of our equipment, our communications equipment, from whenever the motherfuckers were getting ripped apart and shit, know what I mean? That's whenever they got, all right, something's happened, they got ambushed, just get ready. So they got, like, ready to, in case they got jumped. And what they were saying was whenever they first got there, that the guy in training them or telling them about their mission that they're going to be doing that day, he's like, keep your guns aimed high.
Oh, shit.
Like above head level. So the motherfuckers are talking like, why you want to walk around with your gun aimed high, and it all made sense and shit, afterwards, all that shit, because of the fucking giant being so tall. So them motherfuckers knew what they were sending their men in after, and then say it. And see, and that does sound like the military, high, being,
they know everything,
being fucking shady and shit. But yeah, man, I mean, all types of, I do listen to all types of things, because
I feel
it influences your music, my music, you know what I mean?
Oh, really? What do you mean?
I mean, that way you don't just stay close-minded talking about the same type of shit, you know what I mean? I'm like, for instance, the COVID shit, that Jeffrey Epstein shit that happened a while back,
Jesus.
I mean, just so much shit, the corruption in government, how the military is always lying to the troops and to the civilians and shit. I mean, just so much shit, like it goes to, like, motherfuckers that are in charge and got this type of power and shit, above the regular civilians, they always abuse that shit, you know what I mean? And it's played out time and time again. I mean, look how that chick just killed that poor black dude and shit, Dante, it's all over the news and shit.
Oh,
in Minnesota.
In Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean, and there was like another, that black lieutenant guy, they got pepper sprayed and shit and all that.
Oh, yep.
That motherfucker literally sitting there in the goddamn military uniform, dude. And these punk ass cops go there and pepper spray. I mean, like, these motherfuckers, they got all this power because of the badge and the gun, but they're abusing it, you know what I mean? People like that are constantly doing it. We're all seeing this shit play out, you know what I mean? It's always playing out. I mean, but seeing this type of shit, it influences your music, if you're an artist, if you're a poet, if you write stories, it's gonna influence you. It's good to know what's going on outside of your city and shit, your town.
Yeah, doing this, you gotta know what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's gonna be brought up. You gotta know.
I mean, because matter of fact, I got, speaking on abusing power, people that abuse the power. I got a song that's actually dropping on 420 called "Abusing Power," and it's featuring a dope ass legend out of Houston, K Reno. I don't know if you're familiar with South Park Coalition and Screwed Up Click, but K Reno's a pretty big deal out of Houston, man, and he's a legend.
Screwed Up Click.
Yeah, man. And, I actually had him. He was my premiere interview on season 5 of Real Talks.
So why do you do seasons? What is that?
I mean, I don't know, man. Just that way I'm able to categorize them.
Okay.
I mean, I was only doing I think maybe 12 interviews per season and shit. Just I don't know, keep some. That way I can take a break in between and shit.
Okay.
Give my team a motherfucking break, man, because it's a lot of hard work, man, that they do. And I appreciate it. I couldn't be doing what I'm doing without them and shit.
So as like a busy man like you and everything going on, how do you take a break? What does your break look like?
Really, just this right here, bro. I mean, I smoke bud. I'm big cannabis activist. It'll only be a matter of time. I've always felt before California and I started getting legal, I always felt that, if there was a weed movement, to where it actually got legalized, Texas would be the last motherfucker.
It's legal in New Mexico now?
Yeah, now it is, man. A lot of places, so that's dope. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see. So I just hope that Texas gets with the fucking
Even it is pretty mean. I don't know.
Yeah, man. Them motherfuckers be bullshitting. But, that's what I do when I do got time to myself. I just kick back in my garage and shit, write a track, edit a fucking interview, smoke some bud and shit, I'm always, I'm pretty easy to please, man, easy to chill, man. When I'm not doing interviews and shit, I'm inside with my little baby now, It's a big change of pace in my life, little baby. It's like starting all over again. So, my wife, she stays home, now she doesn't work much, she doesn't have to now, so she can just stay home and take care of the baby.
That's good.
So, I gotta go grind harder, man, That's why I'm trying to make money while I'm asleep and all that, with all this and shit, streams and stocks and all that, man. Trying to dabble in stocks and all that,
Oh, yeah?
So, the more you can do to pick up,
Are
man.
you invested in cryptocurrency?
Man, I got a little bit of Bitcoin,
You do? Okay. Oh,
man, I was reading up on that Dogecoin, man.
I've been hearing about that.
Shout out to fucking Nas, dude, the legend Nas, man.
Really?
He got into it early, and when it does go public on the 24th, I believe, Dogecoin, he's gonna make like $100 million, dude.
Damn.
So I'm like, damn, like those are the kind of fucking deals I need to learn how to buy,
For sure.
I mean, it definitely takes money and shit. I'm sure he invested a cool couple of million, to buy that shit, to make it what it is now. But yeah, man. So and again, I don't know anybody that does the type of shit. I don't have anybody in my circle that does.
Well, I know one guy, but
so so it's kind of hard to learn the shit. You just gotta be watching YouTube and shit like that.
Yeah,
Ask questions.
that cryptocurrency it's weird. That's a weird. It's a weird.
I mean, because you gotta have. I keep seeing. A lot of people say that you gotta have money.
Yeah.
If you ain't got money to lose, do not make an account with that shit. Don't open a Robinhood account. Don't open up a cryptocurrency with Bitcoin. If you ain't got money to lose, because motherfuckers lose and shit. I mean, the millionaires, they lose millions to make hundreds of millions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they got money to play around.
I ain't got money like that and shit. I'm mad when I lose $50 outside and shit. I can't find $20 in my wallet.
Fuck yeah.
I'll be like, motherfucker, I know I had the $20 somewhere. I mean,
well, to be fair, I bet those rich people do say the same thing about $20. That's how you get rich.
Yeah, you're right. You gotta be stingy. Gotta be stingy.
Yeah, they know it. I remember working for this guy who was like he was on the board of like the Texas Department of Transportation. House on 19th. Big guy.
Oh shit.
And he would like track this for my boss. My boss would do my old boss would do his yard, and he would like track him down for pennies, literally pennies.
Oh shit.
Pennies. Like he was like, "Hey man, I need my pennies back." So it's like, yeah, those guys, no, they count every fucking cent they have.
You said a house on 19, but they're in between like Slide and all that shit.
Quaker and Slide?
Yeah, shit. Yeah, there's some badass fucking cribs, bro. So I live over in that neighborhood, not right there within big ass cribs and shit, but I live right there off of 19th and Milwaukee.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I had a house built over there about 7 years ago, man.
Nice.
So yeah, man, I'm in a good place in life, man. So I just want to keep pushing the envelope, man. I don't want to get complacent and shit. You know what I mean? I want to keep evolving. You know what I mean? As an artist, as a radio host, personality.
What do you do to keep evolving?
Man, you just gotta keep moving, man. You can't I don't want to stay in the same fucking cycle and shit. I mean, I gotta keep trying to push the bar, up. Gotta keep raising my bar. I mean, like for instance, I want to have. I hope to grow my show. Like, ultimately, it's to just to get paid off my fucking radio shows and shit. My music.
That's the ultimate goal for me too.
That'd be the ultimate goal. It's a just stay home with my baby, my wife and shit, work on shit at the house, and get up, go do an interview and shit. Go do some placements and shit. Go do some ads. To be able to get paid like that, because motherfuckers that got it like that, they tapped into it. You know what I mean? That's dope. You know what I mean? Life is fucking beautiful. That's the American dream, dog. The motherfuckers that say you can't do it, people like that are the example. You know what I mean? Like, nigga, it can be done.
What's the American dream to you? You guys know I love
just
this.
That right there. You know what I mean?
You guys know I love this country.
If I was able to just do that, you know what I mean? Just wake up and like right now, for instance, whatever time it is, whenever I leave from here, whatever time, whether it's I leave 30 minutes from now or 3 hours from now, I'm still gonna wake up at 3:30 in the morning. You know what I mean? I'm still gonna be on the road by 4:15 latest. You know what I mean? And doing my day and doing all that shit. You know what I mean? So if I didn't have to do that, if I could just sleep till fucking 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, wake up, change my baby's pamper and shit, feed him some breakfast, watch cartoons and shit, take a little nap, change his pamper and shit, go back to sleep. And still got money coming in and shit, you know what I mean? I have to worry about, like, fuck, man, I ain't work today. Shit, I didn't make no goddamn $300, $400, $500 a day. Goddamn. If I had to think like that, that'd be the American dream. Got money coming in, got people streaming my shows, got the ads and shit playing in the shows and shit, the podcast. Anchor fucking.
Would you say you're going down that path right now though?
Yeah,
you're working
at this path, at this moment and place of time, I feel I have, I'm working on that path because I was finally launched my shit on Spotify and Anchor and all that. The streams are still coming in. CD Baby and BMI, they're still cutting the checks. For my streams, for my music. I gotta push more music out. So that's why I'm dropping this new single. I just gotta keep pushing it, man. You know what I mean? Keep sharing some shit. I gotta keep hashtagging. People. Artists, that you hear artists every day. Oh man, I'm finna drop this new track. Finna drop another song. You got people dropping tracks all the time and shit on SoundCloud or whatever the fuck it is.
Every day.
But they don't get no push behind it. You know what I mean? Whenever you drop an album or a single, that's when your fucking work starts and shit. You gotta start pushing that shit. Your Apple link, that's an individual link. Your title link, that's a fucking your album on title. That's an individual link. iTunes, Spotify, Google, Deezer, whatever the fuck is people stream music on nowadays, that's an individual link. You could be sharing the shit, hashtagging that shit, hashtagging hot new hip hop.
Alpha Savage said that hashtags.
Man, it's real, that's how you're searchable. When you go search Mike G, like right now, if I was to leave and y'all try to Google me, y'all search Mike G, 10 motherfucking Mike G's will pop up. There's a lot of us, a lot of Mike G's. There's only one real Mike G though on Spotify. I'm Mike G on Spotify, but like my handle on Instagram is @therealMikeG, music. So I guess I'm about to start changing all that shit, because there's a lot of Mike G's and shit, to distinguish myself. If on Spotify, if you look up these things, Mike G, you'll find me and shit. I'll pop up. My track it surpassed 200,000 streams yesterday, I believe. Or the day before, and that's a pretty cool thing and shit. I'm waiting to get that little plaque and shit. I want that hanging in my living room. I just want more of those. You know what I mean? I want to keep pushing that bar. And the fact that I've, my music's been close to half a million streams worldwide. Because I got another track that's about 300,000 streams on Indie Sound or some shit. I've done that a couple times already, man. I just want to keep doing it. Artists that do that. Those inspire me without any label help, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Without any big budgets behind them, just raw fucking organic streams from people that listen to the shit. That's dope. You gotta put some money on promotion there and down there too. You got to, man. How you gonna reach that fan base that doesn't know you? You got to. You can only reach so much with the sharing on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, but you gotta outsource.
Hashtags, people. Shout out to Alpha Savage putting us on game last time. Shout out to you for doing that.
Yeah, man. Definitely, man. Utilize that shit.
Jennifer, what are we at? I have to pee again, actually.
You're at 1:35.
But I would like to keep going, but I gotta go pee.
Shit, go do your thing.
So I'm gonna go pee again.
Go do your thing, man.
Let's keep it going, but I gotta go pee.
on that ghost to ghost, man. What are some of the most memorable stories you remember? Like, were there any ones that you were listening to that you actually got scared and shit where you thought you heard some shit?
Oh yeah. The one I always talk about is I've talked about it I think on here before. Art Bell did a Ghost to Ghost episode with a woman that called herself Harlot the Witch, and she was like this like there was no video, but it was all audio. But she was just like this like just normal suburban white viejita, you know.
The harlot chick was.
Yeah, like she was just like this like viejita, just like this like old lady, but she was like just like a normal suburban woman like that. But when she would speak as in like, you know, like I love, you know, like Lucifer and Satan, and I love like serving my dark lord, and I look forward to the day that I will burn, you know, type shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, you know, and he was trying not to be like condescending, because you could tell like he was trying to like walk around his words correctly, you know, because like she would say things, you know, like how she pretty much cemented in for her child to make sure that her child will burn in hell one day.
Oh shit.
And she did that to her child when he was like an infant.
Damn.
You know, and so she was like serious about shit, and it was just like really, really dark, like to the point to where it was just kind of like it was too real for me. So I was just kind of like, this is too dark of shit for me to be listening to.
Damn, yeah, that is.
Yeah. And so it's just like I want to say like there were like 16 clips like of the show or whatever that were like pieced together, because like there was one part that was just completely gone. So it was like 16 10-minute 10-minute videos, and I got through maybe like 11 of them before I was like, I can't do this. I can't.
See, man, that type of shit scares me though, man, for real.
Yeah.
Because ghosting is, I mean, that's in one way or another, you can't get away from ghost shit. I mean, I feel like they're all around us. I mean, the spirit world is real. It's like a curtain and shit.
Have you experienced ghosts?
Nah, I can't say that I have, bro.
Nah.
But I have seen the spirit orbs and shit.
Okay, yeah.
And at my house, matter of fact, my wife actually recorded on Snapchat one time, you know, with my daughter. And at another house we had in Brownfield before we moved to Lubbock, like probably about 16 years ago, my daughter actually said she seen something in her room, like, you know, a little girl sitting on the wall. Like a little girl sitting Indian style like that on the wall and shit, dude. I'm like, oh shit. And I asked her, like, you know, I took it as an investigative, you know, I looked at it from an investigative perspective. Like, how'd you feel? Did you feel scared when you seen her? Did you feel like she wanted to hurt you? Did you feel sad? Did you feel curious? You know, like, you want to talk to you? Did you feel like she wanted to talk to you? And she was like, nah, I wasn't scared. I was just looking at her. She was just looking at me. And I'm like, oh shit, you know, my homeboy was that actually used to stay with me at that house. He was staying in that room at the time, and he was sitting there with my wife when we're talking about it. And he got all scared and shit. I mean, shit like that doesn't really scare me. I don't think I'm afraid of ghosts. I wouldn't if I was to see one. I'd be trying to ask questions and shit. But that satanic shit though.
I'd be terrified.
Yeah, the satanic shit.
Nah, but that satanic
Fuck
shit,
that
though,
bullshit.
That shit, that does scare me because that shit is real. Like that voodoo and witchcraft shit, you know, that shit is real, man. And it can, even if you don't mean to, if you go expose, you know, fuck around with it, fuck around with people that fuck around with it, that shit can rub off on you and follow you and stick.
I don't fuck with that shit.
So that type of shit scary. That's why I'm like, man,
So scary.
It is. And I used to fuck around with Ouija boards back in the day when I was a little kid and shit.
Wee.
You know, we'd all get together and shit and be like, oh, man, we all trying to talk.
How was that?
Man, that was some shit, dog. You know, there'd be some shit. You know, we could talk about some shit, man. One time, this dude, shout out Scotty, man. I don't know. I think he's locked up now, my homeboy Scotty, man. But they thought they were talking to Tupac. Yeah, they actually thought they were talking to Tupac and shit, you know. And I don't know, you know, because you know how it is with that, you know. They could be saying they somebody, they could actually be somebody
I don't
else.
fuck with that shit, so I don't know.
But that's what they say, you know. You gotta be careful when you fuck with that. 'Cause you can actually be thinking to talk to somebody, and a spirit can be
It's
acting.
disguising itself as something else.
And anyway, they thought they were talking to Tupac. I wasn't there at this time and shit. But I got there after when it happened, and that dude was still crying and shit. And that dude, my homeboy Scotty, he was clowning it, like talking shit to it, you know. Like, man, that's some bullshit, I ain't talking to. And that motherfucker, the guys that were on there, they said they started talking to him. And he actually got out of jail. And they said that they called him a coward. And they said, why is he a coward? He's like, why am I a coward? Why am I a coward? And they said that he cried in jail.
I have
That's
a
what they
scary
said.
story to tell then.
And they said that he had cried in jail, and nobody knew about that, you know, because he was by himself, or like everybody was asleep and shit, you know, and he was all crying in jail and shit. Had nobody that knew that. And that motherfucker said whenever they said that, he got all scared. Like he made some faces, you know, it looked out of place for him. So then, like later on, they asked him about it,
Nope.
and he admitted it. Like, man, dude, that shit was right, you know, because I was really crying in jail, you know, but I did it, you know, I wasn't trying to hide it, you know, I waited till everybody was like, you know, he broke down when everybody was asleep and shit. But anyway, that fucking fucked with him because his mom had just passed away, and his sister shit about his mom, I think. But yeah, it shook him up, dude.
I don't fuck. I don't fuck with all that bullshit.
So,
That
yeah,
oogie spooky shit.
Oh no, my friend told me this recently. So, she said that a few years back, she didn't play with it, but some of her friends at her friend's apartment were playing with it.
with the Ouija board.
Yeah, with the Ouija board. And one friend in particular, I don't want to, like, she described her as, like, a promiscuous woman, you know, where it was
Okay.
kind of like, I'll fuck your man.
Nope.
You know, like, type of woman. So it's like she kind of just had no boundaries, you know, like, it's like if she liked somebody, she like, she was going to go after them. And she was just kind of, she always just kind of was just like that kind of person, you know? And so when they were playing with the Ouija board, they had like some movement, but like nothing really happened. But they were all trying to leave to go get something to eat from this apartment. So my friend and her friend, you know, that whatever, they're walking out, and her friend just like bursts into tears from like the walk of like the apartment door to the car, and she's like swatting, you know, like at like her head and stuff.
Oh, no shit.
And she got like really emotional and really paranoid because she heard women laughing in her ear.
Oh, shit.
The whole walk from the door to the car, and that's why she was swatting, because she heard women laughing. And it fucked with her like the whole night.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
dude.
so it's like she would go outside, you know, like from the car back to the apartment, she would hear women laughing in her ear, like right in her ear.
Damn, boy,
Yeah,
shit, dude.
and so it's just like, even though she didn't experience anything on the Ouija board, something fucked with her. Like
I forgot I said I was gonna do a paranormal series on YouTube. I need to do that because I like being scared. It's fucking spooky.
That's some shit,
I want to go do like camera on me and somebody else, and we go to like fucking haunted places.
Man, okay, I'll tell you where you go if you want to. Dude. But like, remember I said, like, this shit can follow you, man. It can stick. That's why you gotta be
I feel like it can follow you. But like I'm also like, I don't mean to like talk big shit, but I'm like I know who I am, and like I know when to cut that off.
your motive.
I know like
You're not
I know like
involved,
if you
too.
open that door, it's gonna fuck with you.
Yeah.
And I do know I'm not like some promiscuous girl. I'm not some evil person with evil intentions.
Yeah.
So if it did follow me, I feel like I'd be good. Anyways, where at?
Right there in Woodrow, that big ass house.
In Woodrow?
In Woodrow, right there, right next to the bridge and shit. You know, if you take the Woodrow Highway, right before you get off to Woodrow High School, the Lubbock Cooper High School, right there in Woodrow.
Oh, I do know what you're talking
That
about.
big
Yes,
ass
yes.
two-story house, dude.
Yes.
You know, I used to work at Allen Butler Construction, which is right there.
Motherfucker.
I used to work at there. I'd pass by there every day, bro, and I'd see that fucking house. And it's a big,
It's just a big
beautiful
house.
dude. And I was like, man, why is that house empty? At least brand new and shit. It's brick, all brick. It's beautiful.
It's pretty, yeah.
And I was wondering, I said, man, I wonder why that motherfucker's so empty, dude. I was always drawn to it. Probably haunted or some shit. I said to myself one time. And well, it turns out the motherfucker's haunted like a motherfucker, dude. Like the previous owners killed themselves or killed somebody. The owners before that killed themselves or went crazy or some shit. Like, it's been nothing but fucked up shit happened there since the house got built. During the building and all that shit. Actually, there's a page on Facebook, Lubbock Hauntings or some shit. It's on there somewhere, but like there's some, somebody like how we're doing a podcast right now. There's somebody that goes around doing.
It's only ooky spooky because we heard something before. That's why it's spooky, because we've heard something in this garage before.
And there's no shit.
While
And
talking about spooky shit.
and it was weird.
No
So
shit.
my last thing before we go on to something else, because I am scared, is I was at a house where a lady, like in December, she killed herself. She shot herself in the head. That's evil shit.
Damn.
And I was at that house in like February. And I was cleaning
What
it.
were we doing there?
So I was cleaning the outside. I didn't go inside. I'm a landscaper, so I was cleaning the outside. And I was in there. I was like, so she has these big old like sliding doors. It's just dark inside, and I was just like, so it was like, it looked like this, like just black. And I'm like, fuck. I don't even want to be here. It was oogie spooky. So I know like that feeling. Like if you let your mind get into that, like you can feel the presence of something evil, and that's evil when somebody like shoots himself in the head, as I've heard it. That's some fucked up shit. So I was like, I don't want to be here. I didn't want to tell, money's
that energy's real, and
money's money, dog. I got to make the money.
Yeah.
I didn't want to tell my boss. I'm like, hey, man, I don't want to be here, dude. This is fucking spooky. It was weird. It was a weird feeling, dog. I'll tell you that. And I had some bad dreams after that, but that was about it.
I mean, I imagine so, bro. That's some shit, and people that don't believe in that type of stuff, it's very real. Do that energy.
I feel like they're lucky that they don't believe it because, again, they don't put that energy towards it. So they're like, whatever. They're just ignorant to it. I don't give a fuck.
And that house, like that I was talking about in Woodrow, dude. Like,
It's fucking weird.
On Facebook, man, there's a team of paranormal investigators here in Lubbock that go around, trying to catch some shit.
Do you know about them? No?
And they posted pictures of there in that house, like in the backyard, dude. And there's a bunch of spirit orbs, like just fucking floating around, dude. It's not specks of dust and all that shit. It was fucking bunch of orbs, dude. So I was like, damn. When I seen that shit, I was like, man, that's some real shit. Cause I remember, like I said, I seen one time, and to see a bunch like that, dude. Let's see if we can find that shit, dude. It's some crazy shit.
Are you a religious man?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up Catholic.
Yeah.
I don't go to church. I haven't been to church in a long ass time, man. But I pray every day.
You believe in that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I believe. For me, Jesus is real, man.
I don't want to see the orb shit. I'm scared.
For me, Jesus is real because He's answered my prayers, dude. Like in dire moments, bro. You know what I mean? Before I got my house built, you know what I mean? When I was in the process of getting my credit approved and all that shit, through all that process, you know what I mean? I went through like 5 jobs and shit during the time that you gotta make sure you stick to your fucking job, nigga, you know what I mean? And somehow, dear Lord always fucking made a way for me, for me to keep providing. We never went hungry. I never got my bills cut off. Never lost none of my cars and none of that shit. Never got kicked out the house.
Is that your little white car out there?
My Mustang?
I like that.
Yeah, man. And that's a gift and shit, I'm in a blessed place now today in life, man. I got 4 vehicles and shit, they paid off. Except for my new truck that I got, that's the only car I got payments on. But, and my mortgage and shit, and other than the bills, I got electricity bill. That's it. And phone. But, we in a good place now, it's all been through hard work and shit and being hard-headed when they tell you no. But, God has always made a way for me, bro. He's always prayed. And like I said, we have a son now. He's finna be here next month. It was a process to get to this stage because my wife, she had a tooth tied and shit, for after her last baby. So, a couple of years back, we paid the money to have her tubes reversed and all that shit. Went through that process.
And it works, obviously.
And yeah, well, she had, whenever we had that, they told us, there's a possibility that you may have some miscarriages, So we had 3 miscarriages, since in the past couple of years, and that was pretty devastating for my wife and shit, She took that shit really.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what is that like? Because I've heard it,
man. And I'll tell you about it. It was devastating for my wife because, women they're more emotionally attached. Like.
Well, yeah, they build it, right?
Yeah,
they fucking create that shit.
Although
Not
she
that
knew
shit.
that.
That's a bad word for it.
Although she knew that that there were possibilities that we would have miscarriages, she still took it hard, bro. And it wasn't any easier the second time or the third time, Third time, man, she was a goddamn emotional wreck. You know what I mean? And it was hard, I couldn't. There was times.
Did you feel helpless a little bit?
Yeah, man. Yeah. You can't really do shit. You know what I mean?
That's what I was.
You can rub her shoulders and shit, rub her feet. I mean, but that pain is always going to.
So is it like this though? Let me ask you, as a father, because I'm not a father, like I've said, you're not attaching that baby until it's there, right? Like until you see it, until you see it, right? Though, like.
Oh well, probably no, because it hurt me too, bro. It did, but I wasn't as openly emotional about it, because I kind of.
Well, I just meant though, like you're saying though, like a mother creates this baby inside her, but that baby doesn't know you until it's out. Yeah, it doesn't know who the father is. It's attached to the mother for a long time before it is the father, right?
And it did hit me different, It did hit me different, the miscarriages, but she took it really hard, She definitely took it harder from, I wasn't, I would say, as emotionally invested.
Yeah, that's what I meant. That's what I was.
Because I knew the possibilities, you know what I mean? So after the third miscarriage, I don't want her to try no more. I don't want, for the more procedures, to go get any more shots or whatever the fuck it is that she had to do. Because there was possibilities of her dying as well too, you know what I mean? And I said I wasn't trying to I wasn't willing to risk it that much, you know. Yeah, I'd be cool with having a baby, you know, because you wanted one. But I wasn't, you know, really the one that was trying to really do it because I didn't want her, you know, I didn't want her to be getting off hurt because she'd be all having to get cut up and all that shit, you know. I didn't want that shit from my wife. But, you know, in the end, after that last miscarriage, you know, I said, baby, you know, your tubes are untied now, you know, if God wants to bless us with the baby, you know, if it's meant for us to have one, you know, it'll come, you know, it'll happen naturally, and it did. So, you know, he answered our prayer right there with that.
This is going to be, I feel like this is going to be a controversial question, and I'm sorry, and I just feel like I want to ask it. If you don't want to answer it, though. Because some people don't view that as a baby until, you know, it's a baby. But you guys did, right? Like, that's a baby. Like, that miscarriage, that's a baby.
Yeah.
That's a human life that died. That's how you viewed that miscarriage, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I mean. Like, I was just wondering, like...
Yeah, dude, it is, because, I mean...
Because, you know, some people are like, you know, life, when it's born, whatever, you know...
And the last last miscarriage, you know, we went as far as, you know, we found out the gender and shit and had a gender reveal and all that shit.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because after the first miscarriage, you know, she was kind of hush-hush. The second time she got pregnant. But we didn't want to let nobody know. And then miscarriage and shit, so she was traumatized again. And the third time, we waited to have a gender reveal and all that shit, you know, so we were that far along. And it was going to be a boy and it was going to be another little boy too, you know, so we should have 3 miscarriages, bro. So I feel like, you know, that was a big test on us and shit, you know what I mean? So to anybody that was just dealing with that or has dealt with the miscarriage and shit, I mean, I feel you, you know, it's very hard, you know, as the man in the situation, all we can do is be there for the wife and shit, you know. Whatever the fuck you did wrong and shit, you know, whatever, it's just, even if you ain't in the wrong, just say you're sorry and shit, you know, take it, you know, because she's very brittle in the moments and shit, you know what I mean? You can say the wrong shit easily, fucking offend her, you know what I'm saying, the wrong shit, you answer the wrong way and shit, you may come home fucking frustrated because of a long ass day at work or in the studio or some shit ain't going right or whatever the fuck it is, you lost out on some money, whatever it is that you're dealing with in your day, and you come home and bring that shit to her. And that energy, it's gonna be times 2 towards her, you know what I mean? Because she's just that much more emotional because of the shit she's dealing with, you know what I mean? And really, there ain't nothing you can do about it, you know? There really ain't. There ain't.
It really is.
You can only fucking comfort her as much as you can, hug her, caress her hair, massage her legs, whatever the fuck it is that she wants you to do, you know? But in the end, you know, it's just the whole void inside her that she feels she can't feel, you know what I mean? Because that's how I feel.
But you guys were blessed with another.
So yeah, so now that we got my little baby, man, you know, it's a big blessing and shit, you know, and it was unexpected, you know, so shit. One of the times that we had the miscarriage, you know, I felt kind of responsible because I was at a show and I don't remember if I was performing at South by Southwest or I was in Houston. I don't know, I was somewhere, some big ass city and shit. We was performing somewhere, and she was pregnant and shit, you know. So I didn't really like her to be in the club and shit, and I ran all the smoke and all that. But you know, you ain't gonna fucking go out to some goddamn city like that. Tell your girl to stay in a hotel. She ain't gonna do that shit. You know what I mean? While you at a club performing, it just ain't gonna happen and shit. You know, not my wife anyway. She ain't gonna do that. So she was there, and then she ended up losing the baby and shit. You know, so I always felt like kind of responsible for that and shit. You know what I mean? Because the noise and all that. Although the doctor said it was, you know, that's not gonna affect the baby, but I felt bad and shit. You know what I mean? Because I wanted to be over there with my show and, you know, performing and all that. So I mean, you know, it just takes time. I mean, it takes time to, you know, to bounce back from some situation like that whenever you have a miscarriage. But all you can do is just be there for your girl. If you ever have to deal with that, you know, hopefully nobody listening to this has to deal with that.
I don't know who. I don't remember. I saw like an article where this lady was talking about like it's more common than you think. Yeah. They're way more common than you think, and people need to talk about it more.
Yeah, because it are. I mean, people they tend to, you know, because it is private. It is a private nature. Yeah. You know, most of the time the wife doesn't want to talk about it. You know, it's a private shit. She's, you know, they feel embarrassed or ashamed, or a lot of times they may blame themselves. You know, maybe I didn't take care of myself right. Maybe I wasn't drinking enough of this or eating enough of that. Maybe I shouldn't have been drinking this, or maybe I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I was moving too much. You know what I mean? You never know what it is, you know. But I felt it just. I don't know. Maybe it was a time for us, you know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. It happened, and the third time, man, I didn't want her to try no more because I felt like, man, I don't want you to go see a doctor no more. Fuck all that, you know. I don't want to lose you and shit, you know.
Yeah.
I'd rather have you than be trying to have a baby again and shit, you know. But, you know, it came out, you know, it played out well in the end, you know what I mean? So
That's wild.
We're happy, we're blessed, man. You know, I don't take that shit for granted one bit. I come home every day and hold my little baby. You know, now he's starting to walk and shit, man. Like, he's like starting to push the little thing around. And man, dude, woo, he's getting into all kinds of shit, man. But he's big, man. He, you know, he weighs like
I seen him on Facebook.
I weighed him like the other day. He weighs 27 pounds and
Shit.
shit. And he's only fixing to be a year, dude.
Big 1-year-old.
He's big. Yeah, he's big, man. I forgot how many inches he was when she took him to the doctor last time, but he was in the top 98 percentile, dude. So he's really big. A friend of mine went to the house the other day. He said, "Man, my son's 4 years old. He weighs 31 pounds, and my son's 27. I'm 27 pounds, and he's only and shit."
Damn.
Yeah, he's a big one, man. So, man, I love him to death, man. It's my world right there. So that's why I go hard, man. I try to go hard. Got to, man. Even when I only had 2-3 hours of sleep, shit, I still got to get up, drag my ass out of bed, do it. Because, shit, I want them to be comfortable. And this COVID shit, you know, it really fucked up a lot of shit, man. A lot of people lost a lot of money. I was
opportunities.
Going through my savings and shit. I was burning. Luckily, I had money in my bank. Luckily, I wasn't a broke ass hoe, man. I wouldn't have lost all my shit, dude, because, you know, there were times when we didn't work for a couple of weeks and shit like that. I mean, I had to dip into my savings and shit, you know. I contemplate selling my Mustang sometimes, you know. I always know that's a little fallback.
Yeah.
If I need a couple of
investment
7, 8
that you
G's, I could post that motherfucker. People would buy that shit because there's been times I've been frustrated with that motherfucker. And I'm like, man, I'm going to sell this bitch.
Would you say you're not a broke ass hoe? Is that what you said?
Yeah, luckily I wasn't.
Don't be a broke ass.
Man, yeah, I mean, because it sucks whenever you're in that situation and you got bills racking up. Because if you don't work, you know, regardless of whether the weather or the COVID, fucking bank ain't gonna give a fuck, dude. You know, the bank wants their money. The fucking people for the car, you know, the bank want for the car, they want their money to do the shit. The fucking city of Lubbock. You see how the motherfuckers were doing in Houston and everybody when they were doing that freeze out? Taxing motherfuckers for electricity.
Fuck out of them, huh?
They gonna fucking want their money. They don't give a fuck. So, you know, we had to pay that shit, you know what I mean? Shit sucks, dude. That was fucked up.
How were you doing during that cold?
Man, bro.
Were you working or anything?
Nah, I didn't. For that whole freeze out, I stayed home for like fucking 10 days, bro, straight.
Yeah. We went out one day and it was just miserable.
The Wednesday before it really hit. I mean, it was a Wednesday before it really hit. I think I worked like half a day that day because it was like, man, dude. I brought my Mustang to the shop that day. Cause I normally drive either my Tahoe or my Mustang. And that day I was in my Mustang and shit. And I said, man, that shit was gonna get fucked up, dude. And my car's like literally this high off the ground, bro.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have done no good in the snow. And that shit came out of nowhere. I hadn't been watching the news that week at all. Like,
no, you didn't even know.
Weather, I didn't know. I was like, damn, it's cold as fuck there, bro. Like, man, it's supposed to snow tomorrow, Mike. Like, what? It is?
That was brutal.
It ain't gonna snow.
It was awful.
Fucking next day, I was like, oh shit, that was cold as fuck.
People don't understand, like, that was death. Like, if you were out there, you would die.
But people's dogs were dying and shit.
Yeah,
People had dogs
fucking
inside.
idiots.
I brought my dogs inside, dog. I'm in my garage and shit. I brought some kennels in. You know, luckily I got two car garage, so I had room and shit, and right in front of my cars. So I just put them right there next to each other, covered them.
What kind of dogs you get?
Blanket. I got 3 boxers.
Nice.
3 boxers,
My
man.
parents have a boxer.
Really? Yeah, he's been trying to hit it, man. He's been trying to get it, you know, because I bought a female like 2 years ago to breed, because I used to breed her for years, bro. And I stopped like a couple years back. And I hadn't done it in a few years, man, but I bought a female like about 2 years ago now, and she's ready. And my male, he's a big motherfucker, dude. He's still a virgin, though. He ain't never had none. See, he doesn't know, dude. She be all trying to hump him and shit. And he's all like, standing there like, no, nigga, you're supposed to do that. What are you doing? No, turn around. But he was trying to get it the other day because I built a dog run. I just built a gazebo in my backyard like last week. And I built a dog run the week before that. So I got him, you know, together and shit. So he's been trying to get it. So I kind of miss having a litter of pups, man, so I can sell them and shit. It's a lot of work, though, man. It's a lot of work, dude. I did that shit because I had 2 females, bro. And the dog, my male that I had before, he was always knocking the motherfuckers up, dude. Like, literally, they had the literally days apart, dude. One year they had them like twice. Twice in 1 year they had them at the same day, dude. So I had like fucking a house full of 22 puppies and shit.
Really?
Dude. Shit, man, it was a hard, man. That was some shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you lose them though, because, you know, when you have like that, you know, a couple of them die and shit. But I think 1 year I had like 17 that made it. like 17 healthy ass puppies and shit. You know, that I sold all. And I'm like, fuck, man, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of money though too, because you gotta pay for the tails to get docked and the dew claws. Well, now we're not doing the dew claws and shit, you know, because new studies have shown that that's like detrimental to the. It's like it's really bad for
What's
them.
it called?
Their dew claw, you know, 'cause the puppies they have a claw up here, a toe,
They take them out.
and they dock them whenever you get the tails clipped.
Sort of like the tail.
Yeah, because whenever you have puppies, you gotta get that shit done like within 5 days and shit.
So
you know,
it's
a
not
couple
good for
days.
them though.
Yeah, but the new studies have shown that it's bad for them.
Yeah.
So I didn't do it to my dogs. Now I just do the puppies, the tails.
Why do they do the tails?
I mean, because you get more money from them, like for certain breeds, like, you know, boxers.
My dog has his tail cut off, and I was like, what?
What kind of
Actually,
dog you
both
got?
of my dogs.
What kind of dog you got?
So one of them's a mini Aussie,
Okay.
and her tail's cut. But I have a Chihuahua Yorkie mix. That's my dog,
Oh, no shit.
Nacho. He's a little fucker. he doesn't have a tail. I'm like, well, why'd you cut his toe off?
Yeah, I mean.
I never understood like
some
why.
puppies, I mean, some,
and they clip the ears and all
Yeah.
that. Like why? What
it's just more
that?
money. You get more money
It's
from
like a
that.
vanity thing or what?
I mean, it's just the way, like, you know how Doberman pinches are? They fix their ears and shit, you know? I mean, it's just, they're worth more money like that. you know?
Oh, okay.
To me, I don't do the ears, bro, because that's just cruel and shit. I don't even like the
I
tails.
think so. I had to like beg my dad
To
like
not do it.
not to crop their boxers'
seems
ears
cruel
when
as
they first
shit.
got
Yeah, I didn't.
Like they look beautiful.
They look
but
awesome
It's so
when they heal.
inhumane.
but it's painful for the dog, because you got to do it, like, within
And
a couple
like,
of
and
days.
can't it like affect something like on their hearing or
Yeah,
something?
if
Like,
you-
cause it'll like hit.
Because if you hit a nerve and shit, there's always that possibility too. You know, some motherfuckers do it too short too as well. I mean, some people try to do it themselves at home and shit.
Ah,
I'm like, man, you can't do that shit, fool. I'm like, no.
This poor baby.
All you gotta do is hold them down and do it. Like, no, motherfucker, let me hold you down and clip your fucking ears if you like it.
yeah,
man.
exactly.
I'm like, no, dude, you can't. I don't even like. When I take them every year that I've done it, you know, to get their tails and shit done, I go outside. I can't stand it, bro, because. I mean, you just picture a little puppy, man. They're maybe a little puppy. And you're just like, oh, my baby. You know, they're going to hurt my baby. No. So I got to go outside. I can't hear it, bro. You know what I mean? I'm a big old, I got a big heart, man. I
They
can't do
fucking
that.
whimper or what?
It hurts, bro. Yeah, man. So then you got to clean it, keep them clean and shit, you know. And it's a lot of work, bro. So people that have puppies and shit, you know, they're not prepared for it. You gotta have somebody that knows, you know, so you can walk, kind of help you out with the tips and shit. 'Cause you can ask, because you fuck around and kill them all and shit, you know what I mean? And that's not a good thing.
That's awful.
Yeah, man.
Hey.
Yeah, that's horrible. But yeah, but hopefully, you know, I'm looking forward to that because, you know, I kind of missed having little puppies and shit, man. And I've been wanting to get my wife
Puppy breath.
a pug. Yeah, the puppy bread too. Little baby having to sleep with you and shit in the truck. I mean, in the bed and shit. They wake up all pissed on you and shit. Oh, that shit was suck, man. Be all mad and shit like, fuck. My girl be like, well, I told you, motherfucker, not to do it. But, you know, starts nothing with that puppy. You don't want to get up and shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, hopefully.
You said a pug?
Yeah, I want to get my little baby a pug, man. Because, you know, my little boy's about to be a year if he start walking. You know, I've always been a dog person, shit, growing up. You know what I mean? And I feel like every kid's got to have at least a puppy at least once in their life. That's an experience that the kid's got to have. So if you get a little puppy that's the same age as your puppy, as your little boy when he's a little boy, and they grew up together, man, that's a bond that you can't.
I was
break and
listening to a
shit.
podcast actually this week where we were talking about like humans would not have advanced as far as we've advanced without dogs.
Hell no.
And then
man.
they were like-
dogs
and
are
then-
amazing, bro.
And then this guy was like, yeah, because like he's a scientist. This guy was like, dogs have passed like cognitive tests more than like chimps have. Like they're smarter than chimps.
Shit, dogs
Some
awesome.
are, and then like their eyes, they speak with their eyes the way humans do, and no other species of like life does that other than us and dogs.
With the dog.
They speak with their eyes the way we do.
I
Like
know,
they'll point at something and to like communicate to us, and there's the only other animal that does that.
Yeah.
It's wild. So yeah,
that
dogs.
reminds me, I had meant to check my dogs to give them some water before I left the shit, and I forgot. I'm about to do it when I get home.
There you go.
But yeah, man, I've always been a dog person.
Loyal beasts.
Yeah, and dogs, man, you know, even when they fuck up and you give them ass whoopings and shit, you know, they still love you, bro. You know what I mean? So you know, you can't mistreat dogs, man. You know, I see people that mistreat dogs, that pisses me off, man. Like when it's cold as fuck outside, like now it's a law and shit, dude. Like if it's 50 degrees outside, you can't have your dogs outside, bro. You get a ticket.
There you go. They should.
Cops will fucking see a dog outside and shit. You know, motherfuckers are going to jail for that shit during this freeze out. People still going to jail.
So
you know?
sad.
People are still dodging the cops right now. I mean, for having that dog outside and shit, and it died. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty
I
bad,
didn't
bro.
understand that. Like that was wild.
But like, you know, back to answer your question when you asked me about the freeze out, yeah, I stayed home for about
yeah,
10
so-
days. For like 10 days, you know, I went and got a bunch of firewood and shit. You know, fucking burned firewood for like literally that whole week. And man, I just stayed home, bro. It was fucked up. I hardly left and shit. My water froze on one side of my, cause in my restroom, my master bedroom, my master bathroom, master bedroom. My master bathroom, I got 2 sinks and shit, so the side on my wife's side froze. But my side was cool and shit, and I kept my sinks open, like the cabinets and shit like that, kept the water running. Luckily,
Did you lose
I
power?
lost power like maybe 2-3 times, you know, a couple times a day. But other than that, man, nah, dude. My neighbor across the street there bought a big ass generator just in case I needed it.
Nice.
So I was good, bro. You know, that fireplace
that's
helped me
very
out though.
nice.
It was cold. Yeah, there are a lot of people that were fucking doing bad, man. How'd y'all do, man? Did y'all get affected by that shit?
No, I mean, I just didn't work, but I mean, I just stayed home the whole time. I tried to drive
Same.
once,
It was-
got scared.
Shit.
I was in that house for 2 weeks losing my damn mind.
Shit, when I left, I drove my Tahoe, man. I didn't even take my truck out because I've always had big ass rugged tires on my Tahoe and it's high. So, you know, that fucking helped me out. Shit, I was gonna help people who get stuck. They were getting stuck. Shit, I seen people going off the road. I seen a lot of wrecks, bro. I mean, because I drive in New Mexico every day. Like I said, so
You're on the highway seeing all that
I
shit.
see a lot of wrecks, bro. And it's fucking horrible. There was a wreck right here in Lubbock when I got in town and shit.
Fuck.
So I was like, fuck, man. I mean, fuck. Niggas be driving. One little flake of fucking snow hits the goddamn road and niggas in Lubbock be like, "Arr!" It's just crazy. But yeah, man.
Yeah, we survived it. We survived COVID. For the most part, anyways.
Yeah.
Oh, I got one question for you before we wrap this up. What to you is the meaning of life?
For me, the meaning of life, man, I would say, man, like DMX said it best, bro. I mean, I don't know,
R.I.P.
I'm sure, R.I.P. DMX, man. And it made a lot of sense because we're going to go, the way DMX said it was, this is what DMX said. To live is to suffer. And to survive is to find meaning in that suffering. I mean, that's like, goddamn, he fucking said it so perfect right there. I mean, because through everybody's life and shit, nobody's got the perfect life, bro. Everybody thinks, you know, people looking in, from somebody on the outside looking in to a lot of people's lives and shit. Oh, man, that motherfucker's got it made. Or she's got it made. She's got the perfect body. Her hair's so perfect. She ain't got to do this. Her hair's so, you know, or he's got this, you know, he's the perfect athlete, or he got the perfect voice, he can sing, he can get any chick he wants, she can get any guy he wants, he can go where, you know, so-and-so's dad got money, or he's got so much money. Everybody deals with some shit in their life, bro, you know what I mean? But I think how you bounce back from whatever it is you deal with and shit, you know, and I say it's a lot of my shows, man. If you listen to my shows, I say it's a lot. It's how you bounce back. That's what's gonna make you, and the meaning of life is having a reason to fucking bounce back. You know what I mean? If you're one of them people that's gonna be that, you know, that lone wolf and ride solo. I mean, yeah, that's cool. You know, you gotta worry about breaking nobody's heart or nobody breaking your heart, but the meaning of life is to have somebody to share that shit with. You know what I mean? And to have a reason to bounce back. I mean, if you fucking get knocked down, you ain't got nobody to live with. Fuck it. I mean, nobody to live for. Fuck it. Stay down. You ain't gotta worry about being hurt. But if you got somebody to live for, you know, that's why you bounce back and shit, you know what I mean? And I've been down, man. You know, I've been down lots of times. You know, I've started over from the bottom several times. For people that have been there and they feel like it's not possible to get out of that shit. I feel you. Trust me, I do feel you. I've been there, man, but, you know, life is about fucking getting up. And that's what, you know, to me, that's my meaning and shit, you know, having somebody to live for, you know what I mean, to bounce back for, you know what I mean. That's what drives me and shit.
There you go. Mike G, man. Thank you, sir.
Hey, it was an honor, bro. I appreciate you.
Again, where can they find you at?
Y'all can hit me up on Instagram at the real Mike G Music. Music spelled M-U-Z-I-K. I'm the same thing on Twitter as well. Actually, on Twitter I got 2 accounts, but y'all can hit me up at the real Mike G. Facebook, Michael Garza. Y'all can hit me up on Spotify. Hit up my single "These Things" by Mike G, the easiest way. Because there's a lot of Mike G's, like I said earlier on Spotify. So look up "These Things" by Mike G. Album "No Dead End" by Mike G, out on all platforms. Shit, several videos on YouTube. Y'all check out my latest one, "This Life" by Mike G. Shot by LVJ out of Lubbock, Texas.
Nice.
I got a new single dropping 420, "The Abusing Power" by Mike G, Triple O, and K Reno. Coming on all
And then
platforms.
your podcast.
Oh yeah, my podcast, man. I got a lot of shit to talk about. That's right. My podcast, y'all follow the Real Talks with Mike G podcast, available on Spotify, Anchor, anywhere a podcast is at. Y'all tune into my radio shows, Mike's Global Mix and Real Talks 5 on KSHZ Slaughterhouse Radio. We have our own app. That's where we get the majority of our traffic now. Download the KSHZ Slaughterhouse Radio app, free. Mike's Global Mix airs 6 a.m. and 2 p.m. weekdays, and Real Talks airs on Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, baby. Y'all fuck with your boy, man.
Are you gonna move that towards YouTube?
Yeah, definitely, man. I'm actually working on that because I want to get. I got 5 seasons worth of fucking content, man. So I definitely got to get that shit put on YouTube and even just a picture of the flyer, you know, because I make flyers for the shows, you know, for each artist I interview. So just even if I had the fucking just the flyer with the audio playing, that'd be dope as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all I need, man. Simple.
So
Yeah, I'm about to get somebody to get that shit done ASAP.
I really appreciate you coming, dog.
Hey, man.
I've had a great time.
Brother. Anytime, man. I'd like to have you on my show, too.
I would love to do that. We'll do that, and then you come back on here soon. We'll get drunk. So let me know. I was the first time being a guest like recently, so I'd love to be a guest. I like being a guest. It was fun.
No shit.
So let me know.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have you, man.
So yeah, I'm
And it'll
available.
be on Spotify and all that too, man.
That's good, man. I'll be available. Jen, thank you for helping out. You got anything else to say?
No, this is interesting. I liked it.
It was a good time.
Jen, it was
It was a
a
good
real pleasure talking to you, man. I really appreciate it.
We'll do it again.
It was fun, man. It was, it wasn't boring and shit, man. It was fluid. And see what I'm talking about, that's, back to your question earlier. MCing, you're like, man, give me some tips. This right here, what you was doing, dog.
Okay. There you
You're going to
go.
be walking around with a mic, talking to people, man.
Just doing what you got to do.
Have motherfuckers open up.
So there you go, guys.
We're going to put this trash here.
You can leave it there. I'll get it. The snakebitrattlesnakeroy.com for my merch. And subscribe to both of our... We'll find him on all of this shit. And then when he's on YouTube, subscribe to him. Subscribe to the Snake Pit. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
Yo.
There you go. Thank you for listening. That was 117. Mike G. We'll see you next time. Please subscribe.